as lawyers, we hold and wear all hats. Isn't that right? Like, we wear all the hats. And I just want to salute you all just for being here today, taking it out of your busy, I know it's busy, taking it out of your busy schedule to be here so that you can be poured into. Sometimes we just need to sit back, relax, relate. My pastor says it, release. Sometimes we just need others to pour into us so that we can be stronger to fight the fight that we need to fight in this nation, in this world. And so I'm really, really honored to be here today. I'm honored to be amongst our distinguished guests today in the room. I'm so excited to hear all of the stories and all of the beautiful testimonies that will come forth today. Y'all, this is a powerhouse-filled room, okay? And I'm not just talking about the speakers, I'm talking about all of y'all. Y'all give it up for yourself. Come on, put your hands together for yourself. I'm like Councilwoman at large. I like the energy. I work with teams and I just, I'm all about the energy. And so I really hope that you relax, relate, release, get to know somebody in the room, network, right? Enjoy the moment. Sit back and allow someone to pour into you so that you all can pour into anyone else that is outside of this room. If they're not here, they're missing out. But guess what? You have the opportunity now to pour into them because you were poured into. And so I just want to say to God be the glory for everyone in this room. Without God, nothing is impossible, but through God, all things are possible. I tell my babies all the time, I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, and my daughter watches everything I do. Okay? And when I say everything, I mean everything. She coming here today, y'all gonna see her hair look just like mine too. Like, everything I do. And so I have to be very conscious, right? As women, first of all, we're a triple threat. We're black, we're Afro-Latina, right? So we're black, we're brown, we're beautiful, we're strong, we're smart. That's a whole lot more than three. But we're strong, we're smart, we're resilient. But when we go out there, we have to prove that 10 times over, right? We have to prove ourselves 10 times more because they don't believe that. And so it's our job to be here, right? To pour into each other so that when we go out there, we're ready to fight the fight, right? That fight to win, that fight for justice, that fight for love, for peace, for everything that we're seeking after, that we are ready, willing, and able vessels for God first, and then for ourselves, for our family, for our loved ones. So God bless you. Thank you guys so much for being here. To our mayor, to our first lady, to Congresswoman McCamery, to everyone in this room. God bless you. I love you all, and thank you so much for being here today.
We got some powerhouse women here in Roselle. I don't know about you and what town you're in, but in Roselle we got some amazing women. But we also have a leader that gets it, that understands what women bring to the table. And since we started putting this event on, the mayor has not missed one of these events. Yes. And his administration is women heavy, right? From the internal administration, the majority of council is women, and he appreciates what women bring to the table. And so without further ado, our mayor, Mayor Donald Shaw.
Thank you, Councilwoman. First and foremost, I want to thank you for putting on this event every year. Someone asked me, Mayor, will you be able to attend our Women's History Month event? I said, absolutely not. I think we have the biggest one in Union County, and this is where I'll be, right? And I will never miss this event. Don't let her fool you. I came in and she put me to work. So I know the power and the strength of women. Before I say a brief word, I'm going to be short because I know we got some folks in the room that have to kind of leave early. Mayor Shelley Bringle, welcome. Thank you for being here. Mayor from Westwood, New Jersey. Thank you so much. Assemblywoman-elect Piano's in the building. Assemblywoman, thank you. And of course, my friend, Congresswoman LaMonica McCamery. I want to be really brief, but I want to be poignant, right? Growing up in a home with a single mom, I know the strength. I know what it takes as a woman in society today. I made a statement the other day and gave props to my wife. I always often tell her, and she's so humble. She's not one to be excited, you know. But I told her the other night at the State of the Borough address that you are the rock, you are the foundation of our family, and without you, and I'm sure without many of you women, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So men, the men that are in this room, don't be fooled. We are good. Without the strength of these women, we wouldn't exist. You guys, please point to each other today. Please hear each other's story, because you will be able to take from that. And like Councilwoman said, pour into somebody else. So that being said, please start the program. I could go on forever, but I will not. Councilwoman, come on and get this mic. God bless you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Give the mayor another round of applause. Always there, holding this borough down, moving us forward. Thank you so much. We're gonna go a little bit out of order, but this next speaker, she's an amazing woman. I believe it was 2016, and I had the women's conference at NJCU. And I came to her and I said, listen, I want to pour into women, and I would love for you to help me do that because of her accomplishments and because of her passion to help usher in other women. And so she, without hesitation, helped us put on a conference with over 300 women, and it was truly, truly amazing. And so, yes, you're the Assemblywoman, but you are a champion in the sisterhood for women. And before I knew you even as fully as Assemblywoman and as close as I know you now, you were always willing to do the work. So you are the Assemblywoman, but you are a sister in the sisterhood. And so without further ado, Assemblywoman Annette Kiana.
Good morning. I want to thank the Congresswoman for her graciousness of letting me go first. Only because we have Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade, and our office in Union is a host. And so we open it up to the public, and so we have staff there waiting. So today I wanted to share a story that most people don't know. You know, you heard the titles and all that, but my grandfather came to New Jersey to pick tomatoes. He had a contract from Puerto Rico, which is very different from the farm workers' experience here. But what had happened was he was a man of his word, he was a hard worker, and he got noticed. And so he was invited to stay, and he got a job at a farm in Lumberton, New Jersey, and was able to bring the family. And so my mother arrived here at the age of 8 and learned about what snow is. We take things for granted. What you don't know, you don't know. You were raised in a tropical island, you don't know about snow. They thought the world was ending, and my grandfather had to tell them what snow was. And so I was raised different from most people. My mother was divorced when I was 2. I grew up in a woman-centric household. I grew up knowing I could do anything I want, because there was no one there with preconceived notions of what a man does or what a woman does. The trash had to be taken out. I was the eldest. Guess what? I took the trash out. The grass had to be cut. I cut the grass. My brother's 7 years younger, so he got away with a lot of stuff. But once he got to age, let me tell you, I switched. There was things to do. And so education was always so important. In the beauty shop, which is where my mother, luckily, I call it our lottery ticket. She became a hairdresser. She is 82 years old. She still works till today, okay? And she could work any of us, including me, under the table, okay? She got that opportunity, and she was going to build upon it. She actually built her own strip mall and had a beauty shop and other stores, and was really a role model for women in that area, that they could be what they wanted to be. So I'm going to date myself for certain people here of a certain age. Perry Mason, anybody remember Perry Mason? Okay. So when I was little, Perry Mason was the law series, right? And he got his man or woman within 30 minutes, and he did his research, and he brought justice. And so I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I want to be like Perry Mason. So my mother said, remember, a beautician, a family from the farm workers. I get to high school, my counselor says to me, not in Elizabeth, says to me, don't look so high. When I said I wanted to be an attorney like Perry Mason. And so I went home and my mother said, he don't know you. What does he know? If you want to be an attorney, you can be an attorney. Now, why do I make sure that the libraries get funded? Because that's all I had when I grew up. We couldn't afford encyclopedias. So my mother said, I believe in you. Go do the research. No one can ever take that away from you. And if you rely on someone else to bring you the information, you don't know if they're bringing you the whole information. So do it for yourself. You're a smart girl. So my mother, I consider the smartest woman in the world. She has a PhD in life, right? When it was time to pay my tuition, oh, my girl knew how to get that money. And it was right there on the table when I needed it. Because what did she do? She told all the women that came, oh, girl, you would look so good with a permanent. So either you got a body wave or you got a curly permanent, but everybody got a permanent. And there was my tuition money, safe and sound. So I go to school. I went to work in the 90s for Senator Lesniak as his chief of staff. An opening came up. I was like, I would be interested. Would you consider me? And he had said that someone else had the position promised, and if they moved in, then that person would get that position, and I had to wait my turn. So I said, okay, I can wait my turn. I actually waited 17 years for my turn. But what happened? There was an opening. And guess who remembered about the opening? Me. And so I still had to interview and prove the point that I could be a good representative for our district. So it goes to a vote, the committee people. I still believe if I didn't win, Councilwoman Perkins Auguste would have been an outstanding choice also. However, I won by 5 votes. 5 is my favorite number. So I get to the assembly, and there's, you get sent to your committees. A few years go by, and I was appointed to the Assembly Judiciary as the vice chair, the number 2. The number 1 was a woman, Assemblywoman Greenstein, who then moved up to the Senate. So here's me. I'm number 2. She leaves. So wouldn't you think I would be appointed to number 1? No. So I learned about seniority. And at that time, the speaker was Sheila Oliver. So we had dinner, and she said, Assemblywoman Quijano, I'm going to interview each person. I said, okay, I'm a team player. I'm not going to say anything negative, okay? She says, good, because I need everyone to understand when I appoint someone, why I appoint them, and then they understand who is waiting in line, okay? People outside of Trenton started the drama, okay? Because it was the Latina, it was a gay assemblyman, and it was a straight white man. Now, we were all attorneys, so we all had the basic credentials. But it went back to seniority. She selected the gentleman, who I think was a fabulous choice, Assemblyman Barnes. He went on to the Senate, went on to be a judge, and I kept my word. I told him, I'm a team player. We are going to do this for the people of New Jersey. You are not going to hear one negative word from me that I didn't get picked. But if seniority rules today, seniority is going to rule the next time there is an opening, because I will be here to make sure I remind you. So, people leave. I became the chair. But it's in that unity of party or the organization that you keep your word, and then you remind people that you kept your word in a nice way. So I was one of the, I would say, I had seniority, but there were others that could have been picked. There were. And what I did is, when you're given that opportunity that you have waited so many years for, you gotta jump in with both feet and make a difference. And so I did. But in the interim, Sheila Oliver remembered. She kept her word. She's working in the team. So there was another opening that happened called Homeland Security. So she nominated me. I went out of turn, sorry. She nominated me before the judiciary. But the judiciary occurred, I waited, I was waiting in line, and this other opening occurred. And so I made it work. Most committees for the Homeland Security were canceled. I made sure everybody attended. I had drones flying in the room. I had the state police coming. I was like, the people want to know, what do you do for us during emergencies? How are you spending our money? And so I made it work. Then the judiciary opened and I made that work. And I sat through, because the assembly is the people's house. And if it meant 6 hours, that was my longest, 6 hours clocked in for a committee, then we did that. But I want to tell you that there are people that are going to disagree with you. There are going to be people that, you're not their cup of tea. But you have to be true to yourself and your mission and what you're working for. I have to compliment Speaker Coughlin, because there was 3 promotions. All 3 were women. Now, he named me the first woman Speaker Pro Tem. I cannot believe we're in 2025 and I'm the first woman. And he named Assemblywoman Linda Carter from Plainfield to my former position, Majority Conference Leader. And as Majority Conference Leader, she controls who speaks downstairs. It's a wonderful position. She's doing so great. Everybody loves her in that position. And then she has deputies. And so we're building the leadership. It's because as other people leave, others are ready. Now, sometimes it's hard to wait. I understand that. But while you're waiting, be the best you can be. Hone those skill sets. And when that door opens, not only will you walk through it, you're going to run through it. We need your leadership. We need your power. We need your perspective. Because each person that joins the assembly has their own unique perspective on how to do something. And we can only do great legislation if we all come together. And I can tell you now that the assembly looks like the people of New Jersey. With our new members, we have people from different religions, different nationalities that we haven't had. We're still doing the first from, and it's wonderful to see finally the assembly looks like New Jersey. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
All right, I got a spot check. Did you guys understand and hear what she was saying? Did you get the message? I'm going to give you one of the things that I heard from her. she talked about unity amongst women. Unity, we have to stand together. Oftentimes we think there's only one seat at the table and we will kill each other to get in the seat and none of us will be in the seat. You understand that? So sometimes we have to stick together and be honorable amongst each other to actually achieve and move forward as a collective. And now the House has a ton of women leading it. Can anybody else give me something they've learned from her lesson? Go ahead, Dr. D.
Be true to yourself and your mission and what you're working towards.
Yes, that's good, that's good.
Keep your word.
Keep your word. Anybody on this side of the room? Nancy.
Be patient.
Be patient. These are all jewels that we should take with us and walk so that we can be stronger, faster, and more equipped to achieve, because it will happen. Give her a round of applause one more time. Next up, this young lady, I just watch everything that she is doing. Yes, I'm a fan. It's okay to be a fan of another woman. It's okay to say, sister, you look beautiful today. It's okay to say she's fabulous. It's okay to say she's killing it out there. It doesn't take anything away from you to honor her. Yes? How many people believe in that? Let's give that a round of applause. We gotta walk with that if we want to see change. But this young lady, I watch her all the time, and she's so young. I'm over 50, so. But she's so young, but she's a fighter and she's vibrant. And you know what I love about women? Women who were already doing the work. Sometimes you see women and they step up and you're like, oh, she want to be in the limelight. No, she's been working in the back room for decades. For decades. And God has appointed a time for them to move up. And so this lady, I'm not going to tell you a story. I'm itching to tell you a story. But without further ado, I need everybody to be on their feet for this young woman who is killing it in Washington, D.C., Congresswoman LaMonica McCamery. Yes.
I always say the councilwoman, she just keep me laughing. That's why we shouldn't sit together at many things. But good afternoon. Oh, it's good morning. It's good morning. 10 minutes till then. I'm on like my 5th event today already. So I don't know if it's morning or afternoon, but good morning and good afternoon, ladies. Oh no, we could do better than that. Good morning, good afternoon. I first definitely want to thank my good sister, Councilwoman Denice Wilkerson. I want to thank Councilwoman Rosie and Isabel. Of course, definitely to my brother, Mayor Shaw, and to the Assemblywoman. And I heard that we have the Mayor of Westville in the house. So shout out to Mayor Brindle, who's from Westville. And also, I want to give her a round of applause because it's not easy, managing a household and having a husband in leadership, but to the First Lady of the Borough of Roselle. Let's give it up for First Lady Shaw. So it is a pleasure for me to be here. I'm telling you, I'm happy to be here in Washington, D.C., where I got back from yesterday, late last night. And you all know Washington, D.C. is crazy right now. There's a lot of things going on, and so to be here with you all and to the energy in this room, I'm just grateful and blessed to be here with you, because that energy, I'll pull it in and then I'll leave out of here and go back to fighting. But happy Women's History Month. Now, the things that I say next is not for applause, it's not to get a standing ovation, it's just to tell you what is going on, who I am, and hopefully give you some inspiration on what you can do. One, I don't come from a rich household. My mama wasn't an elected official, my daddy wasn't an elected official. Literally, I walked into this space as a young child at the age of 10 because my teacher at the time was running for office. And I was bad as heck, y'all. And that teacher told me, look, all this energy you come to school with, you fight and you getting in trouble, why don't you come over to the campaign office and help us? And I'm like, what's the campaign office? Like, what's that? You running for office, what is that? And he gave us a civic lesson to these group of 5th graders at the time of what that meant. And we went. The campaign office was right up the street, and I was like, okay, because I'm just going to get into a fight anyway after school, so let me go ahead up here and go ahead and see what's going on. Went up there, got involved, and I never left. stayed there. This teacher ran literally for 17 years just to try to get a city council spot in the city of Newark. Literally each year, most of the kids that were in that class, they made it through elementary school, they went through high school, now we're in college, and we worked the campaign until the teacher finally won in office and became a South Ward councilman in the city of Newark. And we were grateful, but all of that time, just steady showing up, steady working, that was what inspired me to be involved in politics behind the scenes, working on voter registration and getting the vote out. Most of it because I could tell grown people what to do, right? I was showing up to the table, like, are you registered to vote? You know, I'm all sassy, you know, come register to vote. And it was something that really kept me going. But fast forward to, you know, me getting a college degree, getting a master's, and then a city council seat opening up in my city where I came back to live with my daughter, and they said, you should run. And I'm like, oh no. You know, I like working in politics, but I want to be up in the front. You know, because you know, us women, we get a lot of people elected and get a lot of people into positions, a lot. Behind the scenes are women who are driving the force of getting people elected. So when they ask me to step up, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Because I like doing what I'm doing. I have my nonprofit. I'm cool. Like, I don't want to be involved. But at the time, there were literally only one woman serving on the council in the city of Newark with over 350,000 people. When most households are led by women, even with the men in the house. No offense to the brothers here, but this is our money. Literally. And so I said to myself, dang, man, that's just crazy. Like, how is that possible? There's no young people. I need to do this. You know, I prayed about it, thought about it, talked with my family about it. I'm like, okay, I'll run. That year, I ran against 9 men. 9 men for an open seat to represent the Central Ward. Went to a runoff, had to run again, 2 races, won. Thank God. I made it. That was 2018. Became the youngest woman to serve on the North City Council, the youngest member on the City Council. And it was a hard job because I tell people all the time, I have 3 superpowers that people think that they're handicaps. I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, and I'm young. And people they don't show you a lot of respect. They're like, oh, you're young. You know, no. Let's, you know, rewind this thing. It's hard. It's hard, and people really do take that as handicaps for you, but it's not a handicap. It is literally the superpowers that I have to be able to use my voice to represent multiple sectors of people, multiple generations of people, and I don't take that lightly. And so I ran again for re-election in 2022 and became the council president. Didn't expect that to happen, but I did. Youngest councilwoman, only 2nd woman to hold it on the shoulders of Mildred Crump. And I don't know how many people in here know Mildred Crump, but she was the first black woman elected to the city council in the city of Newark. On the shoulders of her, did that. And it became even more harder because now you're in charge of 9 people, you know, making sure that you're driving legislation, that you're working hard. And it was a tough job, but fought through it and did it. And once again, I don't tell you this for applause. I tell you this for some inspiration that you can do it too. Fast forward, here comes this congresswoman seat. Oh man. Now I don't know about that. But in this seat, for those who know the history, it has been represented by a Payne for 34 years. Payne Senior, Payne Junior. Y'all clap it up for Payne Senior and Payne Junior because they did a great job. They were amazing. Payne Senior was the first African American to hold this seat, but now just a young little girl from Newark wanted to do it. And it was a battle. Y'all know in Roselle, y'all had to come out like 99 times to vote. Y'all know, y'all was like, they was going on the ballot again? Did she just win last night? Again. And gotta go to a convention. It was a struggle, but I got here, made it, and now the first black woman to be holding a seat in the 10th Congressional District, only the 2nd black woman in New Jersey to be a congresswoman after our good sister in Central Jersey, Bonnie Roxanne Coleman, who's been holding it down for a long time for black women on the congressional, but also the youngest person on New Jersey's delegation, and I'm super proud and excited to be representing y'all in Congress. Did I think we would lose on November 5th? No. I didn't. Not for me, but I didn't think our sister Kamala Harris would lose. I thought we had this in the bag. And many black and brown women across, no matter where I'm at, from Alabama to North Carolina, they are still in depression about that. It's very hard to understand that we gave the country to basically a racist pig. And I say that, not you, but I'll say it. Because I ain't scared to say that. We are literally living in some of our darkest times today. There's a lot of things happening. We are battling each and every day with this man trying to take us back to a Jim Crow 3.0. And we are fighting each and every day. People are filing cases. I know people have their own struggles with New Jersey, and you talk about the governor, the AG, but right now I have to give praise to them, because what are they doing? They're getting on the court cases. They're fighting back. They're filing lawsuits. That's our number one tool to fight against this racist federal government. And that is what we have to do. And on top of that, we winning. We winning. That's a good thing. A lot of federal workers that were told that they didn't have a job, they got a chance to tell the court said the other day, you gotta bring them back. You can't just fire people like that. You know, you can't just tell them they don't have a job without any notice or without any cause. You can't tell people not to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can't do that. You don't have the right to do that, and we're winning, and we have to continue to fight back. But the one thing I always say when I leave these mics is, while we're tired, we're exhausted, we're still upset from November 5th, take the break you need, especially to the women here, because we're going to save it all. We always do, we always did, and we always will. And so you have to take your break. If tonight is too much, the CNN too much, the MSNBC too much, turn it off. Get your Netflix on. Take the break. You know, I heard the new, Beauty and Bold and all that. That's good. I still gotta catch up to that. But take your break today. Take a break, peel off, do what you need to do, have a reset. But you can't go on a break permanently. And that is what this system is designed for you to do. It is exhausting for you. You put on your social media, you put on your Facebook, everybody a political strategist, everybody talking about this, talking about that. You are tired. It is literally melting your brain. Take the break. Because tomorrow you gotta get back in the game. You gotta cut it back on, you gotta continue to be informed, you gotta continue to be engaged, and you gotta know what is going on, because they will come right underneath your rug, and the next thing you know, you like, dang, I didn't know they cut that off. I didn't know I ain't had that anymore. I didn't know my child ain't getting free lunch no more in school. You will literally blink your eye, and it will happen, because the president loved to do stuff in the middle of the night. Those layoff things was on Valentine's Day night. I said, you ain't got no plans on Valentine's Day? How you on Valentine's Day night with that book and that big Sharpie pen signing executive orders, hurting people's lives? This is the type of cruel people that they are. And so you gotta get back into this thing. The number one thing that is targeting us is misinformation. So many people are misinformed. You can't look, I know you like the girl who do her eyebrows good and the lashes on TikTok, but they can't necessarily tell you the facts about what is happening in the government. So you have got to know where to get your information from. It ain't from your favorite cook on Instagram, it's none of that. You have to make sure you're getting the right information, educate yourself, because we have to be equipped in this time. The last thing I'll leave you with is, during this period of reflection that we're in, this dark time, but I call it a reflection time, because we have to sit back, even with the Democratic Party, and say, what do we do? Where do we go wrong at? What are we doing? I can tell you where I think we went wrong at, but all of us, like, what did we do? What are we not doing? What can we do better of? And I'll tell you this, that it is no perfect time than now to get in your lane. There is a lane for everybody. It might not necessarily be being an elected official. It might not be, doing this or being involved in having a PhD in politics. I ain't telling you to have a PhD in politics. Just know the basics. The basics of who represents you, where you can go for this, where you can go for that, or at least how you research it, and not by going on Facebook, but just Googling. Chat GPT, my little young folks, Imani, they tell me, Chat GPT. I mean, you could go and get some of these answers all the time, but you have to find a lane that is best suited for you. And you might not know it here, and I hope when you leave out the door, you might know from all of the amazing stories you're gonna hear today, but there's a lane for everybody. Even if it's just on your block. Even if it's just going to tell your neighbor, hey, keep it clean right here. You ain't gotta get to a fight. Mayor, I ain't engaged nobody to get to a fight. But just saying, hey, you know, we live here, we love it, keep it clean. You know, maybe you the clean patrol, I don't know. But there's a lane for everyone. It's a lane for you in your kids' school. It's a lane for you as city council to volunteer at different events that are happening. Everyone has a lane, and to be ready for the fight that is coming up, that is here at our doorstep, we have to be in the lane. You gotta know what that is. People ask me all the time, especially young people, how do I get involved? What should I do? I'm like, well, what do you like? Because I only got to campaign because I like doing it. I was bad, but when my badness, it transferred over to the campaign, you know, and working and doing my door-to-door, you know, I love doing it. I didn't do it because someone was forcing me to do it, or I really didn't want to do it. I wake up like, oh, I hate going out door-to-door. I loved it. So it's like, what do you love to do? What is your interest? What can you see yourself doing? And then finding something that, you know, you can get in the lane of doing that. Many different organizations out here are working hard every day on the fight. Like Working New Jersey's Working Families and Move On and all these different orgs, even the unions on your job. If you work at a job and they got a union, the union just not there for you to help you when you get in trouble. Or when the supervisor tell you to work 5 minutes over your break. They are there fighting against many of these things that are happening, attached to you being in the union, attached to your health benefits. All of those things unions are working with. Hell, if you want to do anything, start there. Or start with different organizations that are already organized and doing things each and every day. But we have got to get in a lane, because all of our lanes ain't the same. Everybody can't be the councilwoman. Everybody can't be the district leader or the chairperson of the party. It's so many other jobs out there. And that's how we get skipped over, because we always focus on one thing. It's just like Councilwoman Wilkerson said. We be all, you know, discombobulated. We ain't got no operational unity, and you out here all over the place. And what they do, oh, well, we only heard about the one lady who said she wanted, now we're going to go to somebody else. We don't go to the man because it was 20 ladies fighting over it. When there's 20 other positions out there. So find your lane, get into it so that we could be better equipped and prepared to fight back. With that, I say God bless each and every one of you. Godspeed, and thank you so much for having me.
Let's give our Congresswoman one more round of applause. And the thing I love about her is that we're about to prep for lunch. But the thing I love about her is that you are the most down-to-earth person. You are a real sister in the sisterhood. If I call you, you come, just for the good work. Sometimes we're doing stuff and nobody even knows that we're doing it. It's not even for TV, it's not televised. But guess what? The work is happening. And we love you for everything that you do for Roselle, the district, for the country. We love you so much. All right. We're about to get ready for lunch, so I want you to know that that is happening. But I got one sister here that I definitely want to call up and get her in first. And she is a sister. One thing I love about her, and it's so, a lot of times people say, you know, women can't get along. And that we can't work together. That is so far from the truth. And if you look to your left and you look to your right, you're going to find that there's a sister that wants to help you. And I remember when I was running for office one year, and this woman and another set of women, they don't look like me, they're not from where I'm from, but they saw the work and said, listen, we want to support you. And they put together, I didn't have money, they put together a little fundraiser, all the women, and they came together to make things happen, to try to support another sister. And so sometimes we have to remember, support doesn't just look like, hey, you're doing good, keep going. Hey, I really like what you're doing, stay encouraged. Sometimes you gotta put your money where your mouth is. Sometimes you gotta put in the work. Time is something you cannot get back. It's more valuable than the money. Sometimes it's showing up for a sister and saying, you know what, you're trying to do something, I'm gonna be here to support you. Okay? So this woman is really all about that, and that's the essence of her. And so I just want to give it up a round of applause for Mayor Shelley Brindle from Westfield. My girl. My ride or die.
Thank you, Councilwoman. It is a real honor and privilege to be here, and she embodies the sisterhood that she talks about. And, you know, you get what you give, right? And everybody here that shows up for her is a reflection of what she has given so much. And I have to say a couple of takeaways from being here and listening to these amazing speakers before me. Can I trade your Assemblywoman for my Assemblywoman? And can I really trade Congressman Kane for your Congresswoman? So you guys, the representation you have today between Congresswoman Wilkerson, your incredible mayor, and your other council folks that are here today, you guys are very, very fortunate in Roselle to have the representation that you do at all levels. So I hope everybody can appreciate that, because from afar where we sit, we see it, and happy to support it, and have been a big supporter of, certainly as Denice Wilkerson said, for her. I'll just tell you a little bit about my story. It kind of dovetails a little bit with what you already heard, and I'm a little bit of the accidental mayor, and so I had a private, unlike these women who told you that they started at the feet of real mentors that inspired them to get into politics. I didn't have that. And I wish I had seen a little bit of that. My personal experience was my father was in the military and was killed in Vietnam when I was 6 years old. And I had two older sisters. So like the Assemblywoman, I was raised in a household of women. My mom and my three sisters, and we were all in it together. We didn't have a lot of money. The military didn't provide the support for their fallen soldiers like they do, I hope now, thankfully. So we tried to figure out how to do it together. There were no boy chores, girl chores. I cut the grass, the whole thing. So we never grew up with any of these kind of gender norms. And so I went on to have a private sector career in the entertainment industry. I worked for HBO for 30 years. Had lived in Westfield for 23 years. I decided to retire from HBO to pursue a chapter in public service. I was very worried that I would used to look forward and think about my legacy and what people would be saying, after I passed. And I thought it was going to say, well, she got Game of Thrones to your iPhone. And I was like, I don't know if that's really how I want to be remembered, So I left, and I thought I would take some time to figure out what next looked like. And I was really able to pay attention locally in a way I was never able to do before, because I was no longer commuting in the city, I had 3 kids at home, etc. And I started really realizing our downtown was struggling. And I started looking at our local representation. Westfield was all Republicans, 9 Republicans, 0 Democrats. They'd never had a female mayor. And it was an old boys club, quite frankly. I learned that, they would pretty much pass the mayorship down from one person to another. A lot of the local elections were unopposed because people just assumed, it was preordained. And so there was a little bit lack of engagement. And you can connect those dots, right, between the outcome you see in your community to how that local representation is working for you. And so I just started asking a bunch of questions, and of course when you ask them about, coming from private sector, I was like, well, why aren't they doing this with downtown, et cetera? So then they say, well, then why don't you run for office? You're like, no, I don't want to do that, I want someone else to do it. Well, then, Donald Trump won, this is in 2016, Barack Obama gives his great speech about if you want to make a difference, get your clipboard, get some signatures, and run for office. And I'm like, damn it, okay, I guess that's what I'll do. Funny story, I got signatures to run for town council. I said, okay, I can do town council and then go pursue what I really, really want to do. 2 weeks before the petitions were due, I was running for council. We had a mayoral candidate, a guy. I had a colleague, a friend that I recruited around for council. I get a call from the Dem Committee, and this is such a cliche, that they had gotten an anonymous package from somebody showing all the pornography that our Democratic mayoral candidate was liking on Twitter. And I immediately was, well, we have a sexual assaulter in the White House, so really, is that such a big deal today? I mean, but I was kind of serious. Like, really, that seems to be the accepted norm. So it's a mayor's race for a small town that doesn't pay anything. Is it really that big of a deal? And long story short, they concluded that you cannot start with a mayoral candidate where that, you Democrats look like a bunch of hypocrites, saying, and so anyway, I was actually out of town. My daughter attended this meeting where they decided that he could run. Keep in mind, it's 2 weeks before petitions are due. They looked at my daughter and they said, can you convince your mom to run for mayor? So she calls me, I'm out of town, to then tell me this conversation. And this goes back to who said our kids are watching us. Yeah. And she said to me, Mom, you cannot rely on other people to do the work you don't want to do. Wow. And I was like, shut your mouth. And you pause and you think about that, right? I didn't want to be the mayor because it's hard. It's hard. You see what we all go through as public officials. It's hard. And I just started thinking about it and honestly how cowardly it was going to be for me if I said no thank you. And what message was I sending? And then I was like, well, if I'm in it, we're in it to win it. I was running against a three-term popular incumbent and team, and powered by 50 high school kids. Honestly, my daughter got all her high school kids. All 5 of us won, and we flipped our council from 9-0 Republicans to 5 Democrats, 4 Republicans. So, and I don't say that even from a partisan, because most of what we do locally isn't partisan, right? I mean, and for me, it was trying to model good governance for people, get elected, get competitive election races, get people engaged in the process again. And I think going back to the Congresswoman said, I couldn't agree with her more. Pick your lane, but don't stay out of it. And whatever your lane is, you cannot rely on other people to do the work you don't want to do. That's right. Especially now. And I would just say, and honestly, quite frankly, in hindsight, I was a much better mayor than I would have been a councilwoman because I can't keep my mouth shut. And he would have been a terrible mayor. But I do think that's a story about women too. No, let them go take the front seat. I'll sit back and do my thing. And honestly, oftentimes, and that's why they even say, whether it's in the private sector, and this happens in the public sector, when do women often get the opportunity to lead? It's when the thing is in the toilet and they need someone to come and fix it. Yeah. It's true. Okay, it's almost like, well, what do we got to lose? We'll put her in charge. Seriously. And you see, but over time and time again, women step up and lead through crisis for all we know in terms of our ability to bring people together, put egos aside, do what's best for the community. And I think that's what I've tried to model as mayor, and I hope that there are many in this room will continue to do that, and probably many of the leadership roles you hold in the community. So thank you so much for inviting me. It really is a privilege to be here with all of you all, and especially to represent my dear friend and inspiring leader, Denice Wilkerson. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have to remember, one of the things I love about her too, she talked about her public sector work, but she was a boss in the corporate world as well. And we ended up, sometimes we connected in the public space, and then we started realizing we got friends from the corporate environment, and so we're more connected than we think we are. So remember, today we have to connect with our sisters in the room. How many of you are going to commit to doing that today? It's very important. Now, the little mini-me there, Imani, is going to start walking around to call people up so that we can have lunch. Now, when you're online, talk to the sister next to you. We're not strangers. We're sisters here today. So let's go ahead and we're going to start calling tables for lunch, okay? And we'll be back in a moment. Thank you. People are hungry in the world. Are you enjoying the food? Yes, no, I needed a little something in my system, okay? So we can keep going. Listen, we want to really get ourselves back into the mode of the movement that we have going on today. And so I need you all to repeat after me. I won't make you stand because you probably still got your fork in your hand. But repeat after me. It will happen. It will happen. Stand your ground and fight for it. And fight for it. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's what we're here. It's a movement. We're here for a couple of hours, but we're leaving and we're going out there to fight for what we know we deserve. Now, we talked about the whole purpose of this event really being about women understanding that whatever our deepest dreams are, whatever our goals are, whatever our heart desires are, whatever were the wishes of your ancestors, remember, your grandmother prayed somewhere for this line to be changed, for generational curses to be broken, and you are the manifestation of that. Yes? So for them, they had to believe that it will happen. And it will happen through you. This is really a movement and we got to be serious about this work. Now, I got to really talk to some of you ladies. I don't do anything that's just a whole bunch of talking. I need you to be engaged and charged up and ready to go. Say, fired up, and ready to go. Fired up, and ready to go. All right. So, I need someone to tell me, we said it will happen. Stand your ground and fight for it. So I need someone who's bold enough to speak it into the atmosphere about what they want. Sometimes speaking it out is really a way to start manifesting what it is that you want to do. And it also speaks it out to our ancestors so that they too can usher us into that greatness. All right, so who wants to be first to tell me what the it is that will happen in your life? Yes, I got my beautiful mic people.
I'm the only one.
Oh, okay. Rosie, you get to? Okay.
Good afternoon, lovely people.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kendia Simpson Holness. I am member of Local Plumbers 24. And I am a master plumber. Wait for it. I am a master plumber, the first woman in Local 24 to do it.
Yes.
I'm also the first, I just transitioned from being an employee to an employer. So, even without a contract, I'm still claiming it. I am the first woman to sign with Plumbers Local 24 as a contractor. Now this sister here, I'm going to share this moment with you. She's the first woman to go through the apprenticeship program with Local 24. So Erica, please stand. I'll give you your flowers still. And it's because of her and also Kirsten Shepherd, she's not here, but she pulled me in. These ladies paved the pathway for us to come through. They fought boundaries, broke them down for me to come in later, and I can stand here proudly to say 100% owned. The license belongs to me.
Wow.
Unlike some of the companies we know, the license belongs to me, 100% owned, and the first woman to do it. So, saying this to say, it's not a traditional field for women, as we know.
That's right.
But don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. People like to say the sky's the limit. I like to say there's no limit.
Wow.
Whatever you want, you go out, you figure it out, and you go get it.
Yes.
So I am claiming, without a contract, but I'm still claiming that I will be victorious in this journey. Thank you.
Yes. What's her name again, ma'am? What's her name? What's your name
Say your
again?
name again.
Kendia Simpson Holness.
Come on, give Kendia a round of applause. And guess what? She just set the bar high for y'all. Don't let that mic get over there. The mayor run all the way over there for you to say, oh, my name is Keisha. And I hope, and I think I would like to do. Okay, Kendia, claim it. Give her a round of applause.
We got 2 in this section.
Wait, but I want to do a thing, Mayor. So what we're going to say is, right? You will be the contractor. The employer. You're going to kill it. It will happen. Yes, my girl. Who's next?
Dr. Green, are you next?
Listen, somebody said they got a contract in the room. She's a developer. Let's go. Give me that card. Hurry up. Run. Let's go.
That's it.
That's how it happens, ladies.
All right.
You gotta be in the room to make it happen. Go ahead, man.
When you're done, you need to introduce who she is, because that is a real thing that just happened. People don't know.
Yes, come on. Joanna, come on up. Come quickly. Just come.
Joanna, come up real quick, please.
Come on.
That was a real thing just happened.
Yeah.
You gonna
So,
be-
Joanna is a developer. First of all, she used to live here in Roselle. She's a developer. She's killing it. You're building, I can't even name the cities, Jersey City, Roselle, all over Union County, Westville. She is the owner of her company. It did happen for her. And she's Roselle's own, and so we just love her and thank you for building and helping other women build. We love you so much.
Oh, I love you ladies. And I mean it. When I call you, I'm serious. You got that contract. I have one in mind already for you. I'm so proud of you. They don't understand. I live it. I own the GC firm. I own the development firm. I own everything, single owned. So I did this to open the door for women like you.
Wow.
I did it on purpose.
Wow.
Because all the doors were closed in my face, over and over and over. And the one thing I said to the Lord was, when you give me a chance, I'm going to steward it well.
Wow.
So I'm honored to meet you. I can't wait to work with you. And anybody else.
Wow.
Councilwoman, just give me 1 second.
This is awesome.
Please get this picture. When that connection was made, I said, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Real.
And she's serious.
Okay, come on.
Come on.
Get over here.
Hey, get in here, girl. I'm a master plumber.
Come on, give the man to give a room a round of applause. You see what happens when women come together? Y'all think I'll be playing out here. When we come together, there is nothing that can stop us. That is so amazing, man. Thank you for ushering that through.
Yes. Dr. Green?
Hi, my name is Dr. Denice Green, and I am the CEO of Distinctly Guided and the co-founder of Guided Collaboration. This is funny that you asked this question, because every morning I write down what it is I manifest and the things that I know that I'm going to do. I too have just left 22 years of being an employee and now am an employer and running my own company. And the things that I wrote down for what I intend to do within the next couple of years between Distinctly Guided and Guided Collaboration is not just locally but internationally, being able to impact leaders and changing them to become different individuals within themselves through emotional intelligence. But one of the big things that I do, especially with my nonprofit, is empower young leaders. And so we're leaders in this room, but one of the most amazing things that you can say is that there is not just currency and collaboration, but there is a big part of collaboration over competition. And so my business partner runs a company named Collaboration Over Competition, and I want to be able to see collaboration happen just like it just happened right here.
Yes.
And also, what I did write down this morning is that, I want to be able to empower individuals through their mind. Being the strongest piece on a chess is what? The queen.
Yeah.
And we're queens in this room. We do have some wonderful kings. But, there's a reason why that queen is so powerful. She can make any move on that chessboard, right? And that's what I want to be able to do. Whatever room I know that I deserve to be in, I'm going to walk in that room and own that room. And whatever contract I know that I'm going to get, I'm going to walk in there with no problem because I have individuals like Denice and Donald behind me who have always pushed me. And so the thing, that imposter syndrome that I've had in the past is no longer here. So I know I'm going to be great. I know I'm going to impact individuals internationally. And those are the things that I manifest for myself.
Yes. Repeat after me. Say, you are the queen. You are the queen. And it will happen. And it will happen. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna get out your way.
Good afternoon, Queens. My name is Erica Corte. I have several businesses, but I am trying to break into the space of being a encourager, right? I went through a divorce. I understand the process of it, the pain, the ups, the downs, and what ifs, all that, right? So I met some women that were stuck in the title of divorce, right? Some people can relate. So I understand the necessity of it. So I'm just representation of that. So I have cards.
No, but I need you to tell me, no. There's an assignment.
That's right.
The assignment is, what is the it that will happen for you? What is the it that will happen to you? Now, ladies, y'all listen to this instruction now. When y'all call you, it's the it. We're going to get to all that other stuff as we network. But what is the it for you in your heart?
So the it for me is to get out of my way and to have the courage, the tenacity to just go forward. And I thank each of you that are here. I thank you for your words, just to give me that push to go forward. For so long, I've allowed so many things to hold me back. Don't want to stand and talk.
Yeah, but you did.
Want to stand and present myself.
Yes.
Individual, so to be able to get out of my way.
Okay.
And to be able to just do what God has called me to do.
All right. So everybody repeat after, give a round of applause. Repeat after me. You already moved. You already moved. Out of your own way. It will happen. All right, I need one more person and then we got to get to my speakers. No, you're a speaker. You give it when you get up.
We're the same team.
Yes.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Anika Pond, and God placed on my heart heavily to write a book. I have the title, I know what it's supposed to be about, and I need to write the book because if God calls you to it, He will see you through it, and I know that. So what's going to happen for me is by June of this year, I'm finishing that book.
Where's Renee at? Where's Renee? Renee. Come on, Renee. We need a Renee.
We got two of them in the house.
Yeah, right. First lady, stand up. These are your authors in the room. First lady, how many? 8 books. How many you got? 10. And she also has the Authors Expo. So what will happen is you're going to display that book at the next Authors Expo. All right. Okay. You have one more, we're going to go into speakers. Okay, stop.
There's one more. Is there one more? We got one more right here.
Okay, quickly, and then everybody think about your it, and we'll come back to that later.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erica Bell. I am the founder of Girl Talk Meetup. We are a women's empowerment group where we focus on supporting women through coaching. In addition to that, I am also in the space of government contracting. So where we hear DEI is going away, I am around encouraging women to still get their certifications. I am also a member of the block, and I'm excited about the work that we get to do to help women and veterans in the space of really just helping them move forward and learning about construction.
You gotta give me your it.
My it is to encourage and be encouraged as I go around helping others navigate the space of government contracting. When we're told we can't do it, and I'm one of them that's been said, told that I cannot do this. You cannot educate people. You're not allowed to do these things. I want to be able to be, same here, supported, encouraged, and continuing to spread the word about the importance of getting your certifications and really learning how to leverage them.
Okay, let's get that round of applause. Really quickly, you are the encourager. It will happen. It will happen. Let's give our mayor a round of applause. Running around, helping out. I'm going to call up this next speaker. So we do have a lot of women that are well known that come and speak at this event every year. Our Congresswoman was here earlier. We have our senator here, assemblywomen, mayors. They all come to support women. But there are so many stories that are hidden that nobody knows. And those stories oftentimes are the ones that really will encourage you. And so my next speaker this is her first, I'm gonna do her it for her, and she can add. She has such an amazing story, but she's never shared it. And she said when someone referred her to me, who was also in that space, where you at, where my girl at? And now, she today, not only is she sharing her story, but she is launching her motivational speaking career right here, right now. Give her a round of applause. And I want to call up Nikisha Brown, president of Someone's Daughter, her very first time. With an amazing story. Ladies, chant with me, it will happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. Oh, I love it.
First, I want to take this moment to say thank you to Councilwoman Denice Wilkerson for this incredible opportunity to share my story. I'm also honored, truly honored, to be standing up here alongside these other speakers. We've all faced our own battles. We all face our own battles, and I am truly honored to be up here with you ladies. And I deeply respect the courage and the strength it takes to share your story today. So thank you. So there are moments in life that would change everything in an instant. Moments that would test your strength, your faith, and your will to live. I know this because I lived it. I have been faced with the type of fear and pain that should have took me out, but it didn't.
Yes.
But instead, it had made me stronger. And in that, I had learned that in your darkest moments, or in the moments where it seems impossible to survive, if you fight for your life and fight for your future and fight for your dreams, it will happen.
Yes.
So the moment that changed my life forever was 4 a.m., January 1st, 1996. 16-year-old Nikki hanging out with her girlfriends, celebrating New Year's. We have on our matching outfits, we're looking cute. We outside, we wanted to hang out with our male friends, doing what teenagers do. Until this car rolls up. And this is when everything went into slow motion for me. Car rolls up, window rolls down, sparks fly out. All I see is my friends, they scatter, some of them drop to the ground for safety, but I stood there in shock, not really understanding what's happening in front of me. Until I felt this force that slammed into my chest.
Wow.
And it almost felt like somebody had punched me.
Wow.
But I knew I had just been shot.
Wow.
So I could see one of my male friends running, and I said to him, "I just been hit." So he immediately takes me and he lays me on the ground, on the snow. And I can hear the car sped off, and he tells me, he's like, "Stay right here, don't move, I'm gonna get help." So I can hear him yelling, yo, Nikki been hit, Nikki been hit. I can hear my girlfriend pull up. It was like quick, like she pulls up in her car, she's yelling out the window, yo, put her in the car, put her in the car. We don't have time to wait, put her in the car. But while I'm laying there, I can hear in the back of my head my mom telling me, baby, don't panic. Baby, don't panic. Stay calm, breathe, pray. Baby, don't panic. So one of the things my mom taught my sisters and I when we were younger is that whenever we're in a crisis or in an emergency situation, to never panic. To always try to stay calm, because if you panic, that can make things worse for you. So I remember that. So as I'm gasping for air, I can hear my friends like, yo, put her in the car, put her in the car. We don't have no time to wait. So they pick me up and they put me in a car. She rushes me to the nearest hospital. Unfortunately, this hospital she takes me to doesn't have a trauma unit. So they don't accept trauma cases, let alone youth trauma cases. So as I'm laying there in an emergency room, the nurses, they're starting to prep me for transport to the nearest trauma unit. And they're cutting, like I can see them, they're cutting my clothes off of me and they're prepping me. But while they're prepping, I can slowly feel my body slipping away. Like I can literally feel my body getting cold, I'm getting numb, but I'm getting really sleepy. Like I just want to go to sleep. But I knew, like if I fall asleep, I'm not gonna wake up. So I'm fighting to stay awake and I'm fighting to breathe. And with the little life I had in me, I says to them and I'm begging them, please don't transport me. I kept saying that, please don't transport me, because I knew if once I leave that hospital, I wasn't gonna make it. And I don't know if they couldn't hear me or if they wasn't paying me any attention, because they still continued on to prep me for transport. So I remember looking over to the right, over my right shoulder, and that's when I saw him, the surgeon that saved my life. He rushed over and he demanded that they kept me there and not to transport me. And he said it with such firmness because he also knew that I wouldn't have survived. And he was right. Because while I was on his operating table, I coded blue, not once, but twice. Wow. Twice I had left this world. Twice that he had to fight to bring me back, and he did. God held his hands so that he can bring me back from death's brink. So I survived surgery. So now a couple of days go by. Day 3, I take a turn for the worse. My body is starting to fail. So now they have to put me in a medically induced coma because I had lost so much blood. They now have to drain my blood, filter it, and put it back into my body. I was in this medically induced coma for 10 days. 10 whole days that I was trapped in this coma, suspended between life and death. But I wasn't alone. And I knew I wasn't alone because although I'm in this coma, the medically induced coma, I can hear voices. They're muffled, so I can't hear what they're saying, but I hear voices, and I hear familiar voices. So I knew that it was my family, my loved ones. They were near. I could see shadows, like movement. My eyes are closed, but through my eyelids, I saw shadows. I saw movement. My loved ones were there. They were fighting for me. They were advocating for me. They didn't give up on me. They were there by my side. 10 whole days in this medically induced coma. So now they're weaning me off the medication so that I can wake up. I wake up, but the battle isn't over because now the healing process has to begin. So I wake up to a tube in my throat, several IVs in my neck, tubes coming out of my side, several bags of medication hanging over my side. My parents and family in the room, and doctors and nurses are in the room. Just monitors. There's like a whole lot of commotion in this room. This is what I'm waking up to. And as I come to, they say to me that I had been involved in a drive-by shooting, that I was shot with an AK-47, wow. That the bullet went through my chest and exited my back. The bullet shattered my spleen and tore through my lung. And the reason why I had the tubes on the side is because my lungs had collapsed. So they were draining my lungs. I had to deal with that. Then they tell me, because I was in the medically induced coma for so long, I now had to learn how to walk, learn how to move, and pretty much learn how to live again, live to be Nikki again. I was in a hospital for 36 days. 36 days I missed school, 36 days from being with my family, my friends. I even actually celebrated my 17th birthday in a hospital, 36 days. So I stand here in front of you today, not just as a survivor, but living proof that in our darkest moments, we still have the power to rise. That night could have been my end, but it wasn't. Instead, it was the beginning of a journey that I have never expected, a journey of resilience, healing, and purpose. So there will be moments in your life where you'll feel like giving up, when you feel like the weight of your past, your pain, your circumstances are just too heavy to carry. But I'm here to tell you today that if you continue to stand your ground, first believe in God and trust God, and know that He will get you through. And you stand your ground, and you fight for your life, and fight for your dreams, and fight for the future that awaits you. It will happen.
Yes.
Because I fought to stay alive, my surgeon fought to keep me alive, and my family fought for my life. I am here today to share my testimony as someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's wife, someone's friend, someone's aunt, someone's cousin, someone's loved one. And I am stronger, wiser, and even more determined. That night, my story did not end that night. It was rewritten, and so can yours. Thank you.
That God has you to do. He didn't wake you up just to show what the doctors can do. He woke you up because you have purpose. You will fulfill more than you can ever imagine. Those that are under attack the most have the most to offer to this world. Ladies, let's encourage her. And we all need to say, it will happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. Now book up for your next thing, okay? Oh, I love you so much. Now, first of all, I cannot be holding up my first lady all day. So, I do want her to get ready. But I want to tell you a little bit about her because our first lady, Kim Shaw, give her a round of applause. You know how first ladies, generally they have a little suit on and they baking cookies and they talk about soft stuff? Not this first lady. Our first lady was the 4th Ward Councilwoman right here in Roselle. She was the council president. She was the first African American female mayor. She was acting mayor, yes she was. She's an author, she's a teacher, she's been teaching our young people, how many years, Kim? 21 years, building the next generation for us. And so without further ado, I always say my first lady ain't no cookie baking first lady. Give her a round of applause, Kim Shaw.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So I've been called on to give out the flowers for some of our ladies. So before I do that, though, I'm going to give a couple of black girl compliments. All right, ready? Let's see. Let me look around. Okay, glasses. Yes. Okay, blonde. All right. Yes, that's how we give out compliments, in case you didn't know. All right, sequence. All right. So yes, that's how we give each other our flowers. Okay, so we've been talking a little bit about diversity, equity, and inclusion, yes? So our first award is for that. It's the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award, and it goes to Linda Gallaretta. All right, so Linda is a member of the Mayor's Multicultural Inclusion and Accessibility Advisory Committee. A lot of words there. And she's the Senior Counselor of Intake and Community Engagement at Inroads to Opportunities. Linda has helped put together Roselle's first Different Abilities Field Day and our first community cleanup conducted by community members with special needs. And for the first time this year, the borough's annual events calendar includes multiple events for those with disabilities. All right. So, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award from the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Roselle, New Jersey, to Linda Gallaretta. Mayor Donald Shaw and the Council of the Borough of Roselle recognize Linda Gallaretta for exemplifying the true spirit of what diversity, equity, and inclusion mean. Her body of work with the Borough of Roselle and Inroads to Opportunities promotes fair treatment and full participation for all, especially those who have been historically underrepresented or discriminated against because of their disabilities. As a mother with multiple children with cognitive disabilities, she fights for families who often feel left out of the basic accessibility and equity we all take for granted. Linda's work makes Roselle a better place to live. On this 15th day of March, 2025, signed, Mayor Donald Shaw.
You made me tired running around that mic.
Council ladies?
We taking pictures.
We're busy taking pictures. Yes!
Sorry, I'm a little shy. First and foremost, I want to give my sincere thanks to Councilwoman at Large Wilkerson. I met her 3 years ago when I first moved to this town, well, almost 4. Me and my husband came from Hoboken in Jersey City. We bought our first home, and Councilwoman was running for re-election. And I remember she noticed on the siding of my front door, it said, you know, autism, first responders, please, you know, beware. So she noticed that sign, and from there, it was just so uplifting to have her in my life. Besides, you know, my councilwoman of the beautiful town of Roselle, she's also an inspiration to me. I don't know if she's realized that yet, but she's super uplifting, and I just thank her for every opportunity she has given me. The same as Mayor Shaw, you know, you don't really see men supporting women, being pro-women, and I can say that. I'm proud to be a resident, not just because of the people that uplift this town, but also to have a mayor that is for the women. It means a lot, so thank you. And I have to shout out my amazing coworkers and the CEO of the agency that I work for, Angela, Dan, Denise, and Cindy. Like another speaker said, it takes a village, and honestly, that is my village, and I found them. I'm so grateful for them. I'm surrounded by great women, and once again, I have a direct boss who is male, but he's pro-women, and he's just my #1 fan at work. So thank you, Dan, and thank you to Inroads Opportunities and the Borough of Roselle. And lastly, shout out to our new 5th Ward council person. That's my ward. Thank you for everything that you will do and that you are doing. Thank you, everyone.
All right, I am not finished. Let's see. You know, having your words on your phone is special. I don't really know how to work my phone yet. Okay. All right, so next up, I'm giving out a Community Advocate Award. This one is a little bit extra special to me because this woman was my neighbor for quite a number of years. And so my next award goes to Caroline Whitaker. And okay, Zebra. Caroline lives by the motto, be the change you want to see in the world. She volunteers for various committees and boards, including the Mayor's Multicultural Inclusion and Accessibility Committee and the Roselle Planning Board. Carolyn attends many Roselle events, speaks 4 languages, and volunteers those translation services to the borough. Okay? She advocates for her neighbors and encourages other residents to get more involved in their community, and we appreciate her for all she does for Roselle. So, this award reads, Community Advocate Award from the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Roselle, New Jersey, to Carolyn Whitaker. Mayor Donald Shaw and the Council of the Borough of Roselle recognize Carolyn Whitaker for her advocacy work for our community. Carolyn speaks up and works to improve the lives of people in the Roselle community by raising awareness, influencing policies, and mobilizing resources to address community needs. She applies her skills to help with outreach initiatives in the community, including using her ability to speak multiple languages to support residents at borough events and meetings. She advocates for her neighbors and encourages other residents to participate in the change they would like to see in the community. The work she does makes Roselle a stronger community. On this 15th day of March 2025, signed Mayor Donald Shaw.
All right, we're gonna hold this like this.
Councilwoman Stein.
Ready?
Okay, Zebra.
Well, good afternoon. My heart is pounding. I'm shaking. I'm not good at making speeches, so I just want to thank you, Councilwoman at Large Denice Wilkerson. Thank you so much. Denice is always telling me, Carol, I'm hiding in the background. Let us pour love into you. Don't be afraid, because I'm comfortable in the background. I'm comfortable there. And I just want to thank you for believing in me. And Mayor Shaw and Kim, my neighbor, has always shown us, my husband and I, kindness, neighborly friendship, allowing us to grow. We came from New York 21 years ago, 23 years ago, something like that. And they have shown us how to come together with the community and how to get involved, and if things are bothering you, how to ask questions and where to go, and you know, how to share and become leaders in our community. And that is my it, Denice. My it is to grow as a community leader.
All right.
Thank you.
That's a good it. So in the words of Councilwoman Wilkerson, it will happen. All right. I have one more award. If I can. Okay. So my next award is for health and wellness. 2 things that are extremely important to us, especially as women, because often, you know, we're taking care of other people and we're not taking care of ourselves in the way that we need to be. So in order to do that, you know, sometimes we need support of people like Deneen Wynn. Deneen Wynn is the mayor's wellness campaign coordinator, and since the inception of the campaign, Deneen has delivered upon the mayor's vision with precision. In fact, because of her work, the program is award-winning, and the borough has received statewide recognition. Deneen is also a proud member of Hurd's AME Baptist Church and a driving force behind their women's ministry. So, the Health and Wellness Advocate Award goes to Deneen Wynn. And it reads, from the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Roselle to New Jersey to Deneen Wynn, Mayor Donald Shaw and the Council of the Borough of Roselle recognize Deneen Wynn for her outstanding work with the Mayor's Wellness Campaign by helping Roselle residents achieve healthier lifestyles and improve overall health and wellness. Deneen's work focuses on physical fitness, healthy eating, preventative care, and mental health care. As a result of her work, Roselle was awarded a 2024 Healthy Town to Watch designation by the New Jersey Health Care Quality Institute. Roselle will be a healthier and stronger community because of Deneen Wynn's work. On this 15th day of March, 2025, signed Mayor Donald Shaw.
Start over.
All right, awesome.
She
Thank
hates,
you.
I'm gonna keep up here long, and she hates to speak on the mic.
Yeah, because I like working. Give me something to do and leave me alone. That's right. But thank you so much. I'm such a committed person. I wasn't coming today. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Councilwoman called me last night and asked me if I was coming. But the reason why I wasn't coming is because I was working on a DIY project for Women's Day for my church tomorrow. So when I leave here, I have to finish that. But thank you so much. Believe it or not, it's only like one, maybe two people in this room that actually know what I do for work, like my actual job. 19 years, DCF, I'm an investigator, if anybody wants to know. So Dr. Green over there, we know what we deal with. But thank you so much, believe it or not, with all the work that I do. This is the first award that I've ever received. From men, because God has blessed me. But thank you again. I won't keep you long. I know there's some more very important people that need to get up here and speak. So thank you, love you all, wish you all the best.
She was our surprise because we just got the designation and we just wanted to thank her for the work that she does. There's always room to squeeze in the praise for our sisters. Listen, guys, these women are doing the work in the community. They've been doing it. I know we have a lot of speeches, but they got to have their light too because they're in the background doing the work. And so what we're going to say to them, not it will, it did happen. It did. You're getting tight on me. I said, it did happen. It did happen. All right, wake up now. Come on, let's go, let's go. All right, next up, I am going to do, I'm going to switch it up. Ladies, you know we always do that. We switch things up as we move along because we're capable of doing it. We can handle the change. Men, you move something on the other side, they don't even know what to do. They never make the hamper anyway with their clothes. But anyway, I do want to switch it up because I was going to call up some of my speakers, but I do want to continue to rotate some of my elected officials out because they have so many events. So I just told y'all something and I lied, okay? I'm going to switch it up and call one of you up here. So this young lady, I had I knew about her. We would be at events together, but I never really connected with her until recently. We did a panel in Jersey City, and she was sharing pieces of her story, coming from an immigrant family and just how much she does. And she's just like a powerhouse. And she looks good doing it. I'm still trying to figure that out, okay? But without further ado, Assemblywoman, come on now, Assemblywoman Jessica Ramirez.
Wow, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here, to stand before all these incredible women. Thank you, Roselle, the Borough of Roselle, the mayor, and thank you, Denice. You've been amazing. We connected, and she invited me here, and I said, of course I'm coming. Don't even tell me what it is. I'll be there. And it's so beautiful also to really, the celebration that you're doing today. And as I was thinking about what I was going to say, and I knew that you were going to be celebrating women, I thought that this was more a call to action. The theme of today's event, it will happen, stand your ground and fight for it, to me sounds like a call to action because really it speaks directly to what it means to be a woman. It reminds me that progress doesn't come easily. It really takes courage. It takes resilience. It takes belief in yourself. To speak out and to lead with purpose. And I know this firsthand because my journey wasn't easy. I was born in Calle, Puerto Rico, this really little town, mountainous town. And I came here when I was 8 years old with my family. And we left Puerto Rico because nobody leaves Puerto Rico if they have money. We leave Puerto Rico because we needed a better chance to live and to make money and to have a better life. And I had to do ESL classes, and I remember the day that my teacher said, okay, you can do this. You can go and be in your room, in the rooms, you don't need ESL anymore. My parents did a lot of ESL classes after work, and I came from humble beginnings, so like many of you. So I know the barriers and the setbacks that we have to face, but you know what? I also know the strength and what it means to fight through those barriers. Yes. Education became my lifeline. I was the first person in my family to go to college, and there was a time that that wasn't a part of my life. I think the way I grew up, probably like many of you, and my parents hate that because they hate when I tell this story, but education was never brought up in my house because they were working. They were just beating people, working day in and day out. And I remember when I was in high school and I was at my friend's house and her sister had just come home from college. She was at Clark Atlanta. And she said, Jessica, what college are you going to go to? You're going to go to college? And I said, no, because nobody had ever asked me that in my life. And then I started thinking, I'm like, you know what, maybe I could go to college. And I started surrounding myself because really it is who you surround yourself with. And my best friend Talitha and her sister had just come from Clark, Atlanta. And I started hanging out with her and I like gravitated to her because her family was all about education. Her parents were educated. And once I was in, okay? I was like, I'm going to college, this is what I'm doing. But it wasn't easy. I also got through, of course, by determination and me really wanting this, but also through programs like the EOF program. That's, all right, I love that. I love when I say EOF and people clap because those programs were made for people like me, working class families, people that just needed a chance. Because if you give us a chance, we're gonna make it. And there's statistics that say that those kids that go through EOF or go through those D&I programs, they make it. And I got into law school that way. So I got through college by the grace of God, and deciding to go to law school was, as a Latina woman and with no family connections, I had never met a lawyer in my life, was really daunting. And I did have to work harder. And I had to study longer, and I had to be taken seriously in spaces that don't take you seriously. And I didn't give up. I graduated. I passed the bar the first time. And while balancing in my career, I became a single mom. And I had to really work hard to be a single mom and to then be taken seriously as a lawyer and not showing up to court and they're asking me if I'm the interpreter, which still happens. And I've been an attorney for 20 years now. But we know that progress isn't guaranteed. It's not enough to hope for things, to dream of things. We really have to make it happen. We have to show up. We have to put in the work. It was not easy studying. It was not easy studying in the bar and feeling and showing up to law school. I was so scared. I thought everybody was smarter than me, right? Everybody was coming back from Europe and from Israel, and you know, I was working 3 jobs so I can pay for law school and for my books. So really, don't give up. There's going to be setbacks and things are going to get really uncomfortable. And I think as legislators and councilwomen and senators, things get really uncomfortable for us all the time. We lose friends, we lose supporters, we get back in. So we have to have each other's backs. We have the responsibility to make sure that the doors that we've opened don't close. We have to keep lifting up each other. All women, working moms, LGBTQ women and men, people that are marginalized communities. Because when women stand together and we refuse to be silenced, when we demand our right place, man, courage happens, things happen, we move mountains. So every woman in this room, I say this, it will happen. It will happen. But only if we make it. Only if we make it happen. Only if we stand our ground. Only if we put in the work and we lead with strength and compassion. Not just strength. We have to have both. Because and when we have both, there's nothing that we can't achieve. So let me leave here with a few words. I hope that it's not just inspired words, but also you feel empowered. Because when we keep fighting for equality, for justice, for each other, there's nothing that we can't do. I love you. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to be here. Like, I can't believe when I get to speak, I still it's such a blessing because I promise you, I had no idea that I would come to this amazing country and I would have all these gifts, and then I come and meet these beautiful women and women that empower me, women that I've never met before, and we just connect, and it's such a beautiful thing. So please keep doing that. Love each other, hug each other, and always stay kind.
Is she not amazing? Hold on 1 second, Jessica. Because you know what? We can do work. We be sweating and doing work and stuff, but we can look good. Just do a quick walk real quick. Come on. We need some music. Just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, we should honor each other as much as we can. We have amazing women that are beautiful inside and out, and we should always connect, okay? Now, this next woman, you know, I don't write no bios down. You really know these people. Like, these are stories. I call her the bill slayer. She went down to Trenton and was writing bills for everyday folk. Not bills that we never know what you just did, why you did it, and my life is still the same. Nothing's changed. But she is passing legislation that really fights for us. But the one thing I love about you is your story was about helping people. You had a situation. You knew other families were dealing with their elders to do care for their family members. And you built a whole agency to help our seniors. You were on the ground before an office was even talked about, doing the work. And you always help women. Every time I call you to speak, no matter what, years. And you have always come and answered the call. I love you so much. Senator Angela B. now, McKnight.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Councilwoman Denice Wilkerson. She's a powerhouse by herself. And every time she calls, I dare not say no. Because she knows where I live at. Thank you so much for inviting me to this beautiful event. I'm always blessed to be here.
to Mayor Shaw and First Lady, thank you for having me in your city, and to the entire council, thank you. So before I start my speech, I just want to say something to some women. Because some of you came up here and said, I'm shy. I don't know what to say. I'm nervous. Listen, don't tell anybody that you're shy and nervous. If you have words, you speak them. You don't let them know that you're shaking. You go in the bathroom, pray to the Lord and say, give me the words that I need to say. And don't stand here and say, I'm shy. I don't know what to say. Okay? And also, if you are shy and you're nervous, just take a moment. Build yourself like an opener. Like have someone play some music, right? To get the crowd riled. Right? Say, everybody raise your hand, right? Stand up, shake, because you're getting yourself together, but you don't tell them that, okay? Don't tell nobody I told you to say that, okay? So, and First Lady, you said the words on the phone, right? I know it's a hot mess, but I want to make sure that I say everything that I want to say. I took time to write this speech, so I want to make sure that I get the words out. I stand here, and this is not on, I'm just right here, so I'm not reading my speech yet. But I stand here today as a 16-year-old who had a baby, who went to school my freshman year, pregnant at 15, right? I stand here who lived in the projects. First person in my family to buy a house. First person in my family to graduate college. I stand here who at times didn't have lights because my mom struggled. I stand here who ate rice and eggs for dinner because we didn't have that much food. So I am someone who have surpassed many obstacles. So if I can stand here today, you can stand here. My daughter has a master's degree, and I am a grandma to a 7-year-old who calls me Pop Pop. That's a story another time. But I just want to share with you that I was not born with a silver platter. My nephew, who was 15 years old, was gunned down, shot in the ankle, then in the head, because he tried to get out of a game. So I understand many plights that happen in our community. So when you see me slaying the bills, and I write that down, Bill Slayer, I get that from Denice, because I understand what is happening in our community. And I take from people ideas. Right? All the bills that I have, they just don't come from me. They come from the community. And if you hurt a senior, you got to go through me. Because I love our seniors. And if I leave this earth today, everybody in this room will say, that girl cared about them seniors. If you don't know nothing else. So now I'm going to go to my speech. I stand before you today with a simple but powerful message. It will happen. Whatever dream you carry, whatever change you seek, whatever battle you are fighting, it will happen. But let me be clear. It won't happen by chance. It won't happen by waiting. It won't happen without resistance. It will happen because you stand your ground and you fought for it. History teaches us that every great moment, every significant achievement, and every breakthrough was met with change, was met with obstacles. The people who changed the world were not the ones who waited for permission. They were the ones who refused to back down. They stood firm, they fought, and they won. Think about it. Every social justice victory, every technology advancement, every personal triumph happened because someone decided, I will not be moved. I will not be silenced. I will not give up. But here's the truth. Standing your ground is not easy. The moment you decide to fight for something bigger than yourself, challenges will arise. Doubt will creep in. People may tell you that you're aiming too high, that the odds are against you, that you should just accept things as they are. And that is where the battle begins. Standing your ground means pushing past the fear or failure. It means rejecting the voices that say, this is just the way things are. It means understanding that setbacks are signs to quit, but tests to see how badly you want it. So let me ask you, what are you fighting for? Are you fighting for justice, for equality, for a seat at a table, to create a seat, to create a table, for your dreams, for your future? What is it? Hear me today, it will happen, but only if you stand firm, only if you refuse to let doubt, fear, or opposition shape your resolve. In fighting, it does not always mean throwing punches or shouting the loudest. Sometimes the strongest fight is in your consistency, your resilience, and your refusal to be ignored. It is showing up every single day, even when you know no one is watching. It is believing in your cause, even when others don't see the vision yet. I want you to walk out of here today with a renewed fire inside you. Whatever you decide, whatever you have been hesitant about, go after it. Whatever change you want to see, be the one to spark it. Whatever dream has been sitting in your heart, fight for it. It's already belongs to you. Because the truth is, it does not belong to anyone else. It belongs to you. But only if you refuse to surrender. Only if you stand your ground. Only if you fight with everything you have. And when you decide that you want to move forward, when you commit to the battle, when you refuse to back down, it will happen. So stand your ground, fight for it, and don't let anyone, I mean anyone, stop you. This is your reality. This is what you want. This is what you live and breathe. You want to change the world. You want to become an entrepreneur. You want to start an organization. You want to become mayor. You want to become a councilwoman. You want to become a CEO, a boss, an assemblywoman. Whatever you want to become, know that is here. It's God's plan for you. So fight, keep fighting, and know that if you have you, and if God has you, no one, I mean no one, can stop you. Thank you.
Wow. All right, did y'all hear that? I ain't gonna stop and ask y'all no questions because we got to get up out of here, okay? But I still have so many amazing women. It's just so difficult to kind of make it through this thing. So I'm gonna pivot, and then the next person that's gonna introduce the speaker after me will be Councilwoman Rosie McCamery, and I'm gonna introduce a young lady who is my BFF. She's my BFF. We grew up in the same town, and we used to play in front of my mother's store when we were kids. And we ended up growing up. We went our separate ways, and we came back and found out we each were doing community work. And we were like, oh, wow, that's great. And she has been on the battlefield for eradicating gun violence in our communities for so long. She is such a fighter. And I will share this. My brother was murdered so many years ago, about 20-something years ago. But I was devastated. When I say he was my best friend, we look exactly alike, same big eyes, everything. He's me without the weave. But I was devastated because we were best friends, and I never really figured out how to get past it. Like, I really thought I was gonna lose my mind. The grief was so heavy. And when we reconnected, she was doing work, and the work that you did actually gave me a place to put all of that pain, all of that disappointment, and to work to change the lives of other people who were experiencing what I was experiencing when someone else made the choice to take my loved one's life, and they were not God. And you gave me the work to help those families. You went a little bit too far. She had me standing on corners, the most dangerous corners in Jersey City, talking about, we here to help you, change your life. Had me doing funeral programs for the people who got killed. Sometimes when gang members are killed, people don't think that family member deserves to have the same kind of rights that others when they're being laid to rest. And so churches and funeral homes, they're passing around cake, guys, okay? Funeral homes won't take those funerals. And so she would have me doing the programs for the funeral. I would have to design them because nobody wanted to do them. And so I just thank you for giving me a place to place that pain. I thank you for the work that you're doing. I thank you for always sacrificing your life, your time, to help others get through the darkest time and to make sure and fight that it doesn't happen for any other family. Thank you so much, Pamela Johnson, the Executive Director of the Anti-Violence Coalition of Hudson County.
Thank you for that warm welcome. I am her BFF, but I don't really know how much because what time is it and I just got on? You had no type of, no favoritism for me, but that's all right because I love being here with all you beautiful queens. I think this is probably like the 5th, I don't know how many that I've spoken at. But whenever Denice calls me, I will always show up no matter what. Even when I almost got into a fight campaigning for her over here in Roselle. Y'all treacherous in Roselle. Y'all a borough, but y'all was treacherous to my girl Denice when she was trying to become councilwoman. Okay, and here she is today. I'm gonna stay on pace so we can keep it moving, right? I looked at the time, I said, all right now. And I did write a speech, and like I said at a big night, I'm gonna stick to it, okay? Good day, beautiful people, and greetings of gratitude to all the queens here today. I was a speaker at the Women's Conference in 2016 in Jersey City at New Jersey City University, hosted by Roselle's esteemed Councilwoman at Large, Denice Wilkerson, who I fondly know as my best friend, sister, confidant, colleague, spiritual reminder. Sometimes she's like the warrior on my shoulder and the goddess, so got that mixture. And the beautiful woman of the people. And yeah, she's been doing this for quite some time, so please give her a round of applause that she deserves all her flowers, every flower. At that time in 2016, when I first started speaking, I started telling my story of being a gun violence survivor, right? That was the main center of my story, and a domestic violence survivor. And I stood on that platform for a very long time. I think too long, really, because I think I left out a lot of amazing things that I was doing. I was bringing it so much back to hardship and struggle and, pain, and that I wasn't really talking about the transformation. So at that time in 2016, I spoke about repentance, recovery, and having the ability to have a new life despite my past and present situations, especially not being befitting of what this country thinks that my journey should be. I cleansed, I atoned, I forgave myself and others for all their offenses, including the person who shot me. Because I knew that I only wanted to do that once in my life. I didn't want to keep talking about it. I didn't want to keep reliving it. I look at the marks every day on my body, and I didn't need it in my mind as well. I laid my soul out for perfect strangers to judge or not judge, to console or not console, to be mean or not. Whatever they chose to do, I laid it out, and I lived through that. I spoke at several other conferences over the past years, but I was reminded when Denice asked me to speak at this one of that 2016 conference when I just laid it all out. And so what I'm going to say to you today, and what I want to leave you with, is that I reflected on that speech. And I wanted to make sure it became a full circle moment of who I am right now in 2025, whether you heard me speak or not. Here we are 9 years later, and my travel has been amazing. The fight for justice in my community has been beautiful and depleting at times. But God has been gracious enough to replenish my cup. He has filled me through my ancestors, my beautiful mom, right over there to my right with the burgundy, Mrs. Regina Johnson Green. And my family and friends and my neighbors, and ironically, complete strangers like some of you are to me in this room. You have given me things that I've needed to rebuild. I left a relationship after nearly a decade that I should have left a long time ago. And I've been single ever since, y'all. And not that it's none of your business, but I'm gonna tell you anyway because I'll talk about it a lot. I've not only been single, I've been celibate. And not on purpose, it kind of just happened. You know, once you've been with somebody for over a decade and you was like, I need a break. And so 3 years turned into 6, and 6 turned into 7, and I was like, girl, when you going? Oh, never mind, y'all. My mama here. But anyway, you know, it's been a purposeful journey later on down the line, and I'm living through it, and I'm loving the direction it's going in. I purchased my first home. I grew my small nonprofit. Thank you, that's big. I didn't even know I wanted a home, right? I didn't think I could get a home either. That credit was messed up. But I got it together, and I got it straight. Purchased my first home. I grew my small nonprofit with 0 employees, but volunteers like Denice and my mom and just friends and family, to a nonprofit that employs Jersey City natives to support their communities through serving victims of violence. We have a staff of 12 right now, and I think that's a big thing, so y'all better, okay? And, you know, we support our most vulnerable community, you know, through our services that we provide with victims of violence and their families, which are desperately needed because as a survivor of gun violence, when I was shot, that support was not there. So I'm happy to have that there now, and we be the ones delivering that service. I have tearfully but purposely cut off connections that have harmed me, so I am not afraid to walk away from a so-called friendship. I am not afraid to walk alone because my mom told me that I'm always walking with God. All right? So that is survival, queens. Notice that I said a lot of I's, and that was done deliberately. Because I must intentionally remember to give myself credit for my transformation. The leveling up that my children witnessed and admire to this day. I have a 33 and a 27-year-old, and when I tell you, I walk in the door after a long week or a long day, and they're like, let's go, Mom, like we chilling, we sitting, we're talking, we're, you know, debriefing the day. They want to know who messed with me, and I'm like, no, nobody, baby, I made it through. But you know, but what they witnessed me do inspires them to be so much more, and I love that about our relationship. The leadership that my granddaughters, yes, I have 2 granddaughters, 7 and 3. My 33-year-old has those 2. And they imitate me to this day. I walk, me and my grandbaby, she's 7, we walk in the neighborhood, and I call everyone kings and queens, right? And she'll be like, hey, queen, how you doing? And they like, that's Pam's granddaughter. I know it is. And I'm like, you know it is. But you know, that's the beautiful, Pop, you're gonna have to tell me that story, all right? But that's the beautiful thing about becoming a grandmother and seeing your family be built and grown, and your legacy, and just watching all that in front of you. It's a beautiful thing. It is okay to authorize your story, and that's why I use I a lot. And make you the main character, because with your strength, your courage, and your vulnerability to expose, rebuild, and overcome, it all started with you. You are the magic key, and remember to give you your flowers regardless of where you are on your journey. you must acknowledge that you are on your own voyage. Travel safely, queens, and don't forget to lean on one another for support, but depend on you and God. Thank you.
All right, that was awesome. Let's give it up for the ladies who have gotten up and spoken thus far, who have pushed themselves out of the way, right, making room for the greatness that is within them. So I'm not gonna delay the time. This young lady coming up next is a very near and dear person to me. I've known her for some years, but did not just realize about 10 years ago that we actually were family. She is no stranger to Roselle. She actually was born and raised, or at least raised here in Roselle, her and her four sisters, to a phenomenal woman, my aunt back there, Lois. And so this young lady is phenomenal. She is a motivational speaker. She's a woman of God, first and foremost. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is a motivational speaker. She is a beautician. She is very conscientious about her health, and she is a cook, and she does all things. She is a multipreneur, is what they call them. And she is a phenomenal woman indeed. And so without any further ado, I am so blessed and honored to bring before you today Minister Michelle Johnson.
Hello, everyone. I know it's been a long day, but it has been a wonderful day because I know I feel empowered. Do anybody feel empowered with all the things that we have been hearing, right? And as she said, I grew up in Roselle. I went to every school except for Grace Rule Day. I went to Harrison, Lincoln, Abraham Clark, all of that. I was thinking about what I was going to say to you guys, and I thought about on White Street when I was a senior in high school. I was 18 years old, and I was walking, and my uncle, Danny, who's not here anymore, I met him up the street, and he was, wishing me to have a good day. And when I was walking away from him, he called my name, and he said, "You're going to get that salon one day." And I just looked at him because he looked really strange. He didn't look like he was looking at me. He looked like he was looking like at a distance. I didn't know that a year later that he was going to pass away. I was in school, and when I went to college, first year, I got pregnant. Now, my plan was to become a paralegal and then go to Dudley. And as I wanted to be a lawyer, but while I was going to be a lawyer, I was just going to do hair to become the lawyer. Well, plans changed. I got pregnant. Of course, I was disappointed, came back home, scared, didn't know what to do, didn't want to be a statistic. My first mindset was, get rid of the baby. Didn't do it because I felt him move in me. And I knew it was a boy because God wouldn't do that to me. He wouldn't give me a girl first. But anyway, when I found out it was a boy, I wound up having my son. And then it was like this thing in me because when he spoke to me, it resonated in me, but it didn't really sit in me. It was like he said he saw my salon, but I didn't believe that I could be an owner. Now, I knew that I had a talent. I've been doing hair since I was 9 years old. So moving right along, being a single mom, and this is where I thought about how when I opened my first salon, it was 14 years later, I was 32 years old, I was a single mom, and 3 years after, because I was afraid, I was fearful, I was anxious, I was worried, the salon made me feel overwhelmed. So I was in a place of a businesswoman, but I really was not owning the business. I let the business own me. You understand what I'm saying? And so when I went into the salon, every time I sat down to do the paperwork, I became very anxious. So during that time that I lost the salon, I was pregnant with my daughter, and I had to give a salon up. It was a 2,300 square foot salon. It was a full service salon. I had a makeup artist. I had a store in there. I had a nail technician in there, and I had about 10 girls working for me. So to have to lose that and be pregnant, it was very, very devastating for me. During that time, after I had my daughter, I suffered 3 miscarriages. I had a stillborn, my daughter Morgan, and then following that 2 more, with the last one with me almost losing my life. I was hearing a young lady when she was talking about how there was a doctor that actually said we cannot move her. Well, in my story, the doctor wasn't even in the hospital. The medical doctor was going to send me home, and he said, let me call your doctor. And she said, no, I need to see her. I don't want you to move her. She told me that if I did go home, I would have died at home. Wow. With all of that being said, losing the salon and losing the babies, there was like a 7-year period. And you know what 7 means? 7 means completion, right? So from 2013 to 2020, there was a 7-year of growing, learning, regrouping, relearning who I was, trying to get that confidence back that I could actually own something and be something. I didn't just want to be any hair salon. Like, you know, we hear a lot of bad things, and I know you all have experienced bad salon etiquette, and I just didn't want to be that type of salon. The name of my salon is Serene by Nature, and so we promote peace. We have gospel music blasting. Sometimes there are women that come in there and they weight it down and we pray with them. Sometimes they laying in the sink and they crying out to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted that type of salon. So in 2020, when everything hit, right, when COVID hit, the summer of 2020, I had an opportunity to own again. And I was like, in the middle of a pandemic, right? It's like, you want to give it to me now? But you know what? It was so crazy because I had absolutely no money, okay? I'm talking about real money, because when you have a salon, you have to have money. I mean, I had $100, but you need more than $100 to run a salon. I had no money, but the guy said to me, here, I want to give you this salon. He said, we could work out the details later. And I was like, are you serious? Went home, and my mouth was getting white, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting at home like, he wants me to own the salon again? And it's like, wait a minute, girl, you did this before. But now you can't let fear, anxiety, and worry consume you. Now you have to take over it, okay? And so when I went back in, I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I said, but I'm just going to have to not just do it afraid, because I hear people say it, and that's true. But if you allow the fear and anxiety to wear you, then you will not be successful. So here's the thing. When I read the theme and said, fight for it, I realized when the senator was talking about you don't necessarily have to be physically fighting. But I thought about me and how I had to fight for that woman that was inside of me that I never allowed to be out. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to fight for the inside of you, because most of the time we don't really know what we're capable of until we move forward in what it is that we want to do. But if you never move forward, you'll never know the type of character or integrity that you actually can have. So here's what I want to say to you, because there are 3 things that I wrote down. And the first thing is the birthing of what I believe started with a small seed of faith. So if you don't have faith and you don't believe that God can do it or that you can do it, you'll never do it. So you have to believe in Him and you have to believe in yourself. Wow. The second thing is the losses that I experienced did not mean that I was a failure, but it meant that I had another opportunity to regroup and relearn so that I could have better success. The third thing is the recovery only happened when I embraced what I really desired to become and then vowed to myself to fight for that person to show up every day. So you don't just decide in one day that you have to show up. Every day that you go to be whatever you're going to be or do whatever you're going to do, you have to show up for that person every day. You, yourself. You have to show up for the business owner, congresswoman, preacher, mayor, whatever it is that you want to be, you have to decide I'm showing up for her. It doesn't matter what I feel like, because emotions are going to have you, okay? You're always going to have some type of fear, but you have to decide I'm going to fight for me, because nobody's going to fight for you the way that you're going to fight for you. Amen. That's all I have to say. Have
a good night. Fantastic. Wow. Mayor, I think I need your phone up here. All right, listen. We have got to move. Now I'm going to go back. So I told everybody a 3-minute speech, but that didn't happen. So
But if we can, we're going to try to keep it down. There's some amazing women that I have to get on. The next lady, though, she is a woman that exemplifies what the sisterhood needs to have, which is people who will say, when you need help in the space that you're in, that I will be there and mentor you. It's okay to look at another woman and say, what you're doing, I want to do. And this woman I went to, and we didn't really have a tight relationship, but I just became in government, and I was like, I need to know some stuff. And I asked her, I said, listen, I called the office, showed up there, I said, will you mentor me? And she was like, yeah, okay, no problem. Most people would turn that down and be like, who you, what you want, why you here, that kind of thing. And she has been supportive ever since. So without further ado, Council President Joyce Waterman. Let's give her a round of applause. She a dresser too.
Good afternoon, ladies. I know you're tired, right? It's sad that you've been here all day, right? But first of all, I would like to give this opportunity. I want to thank Denice for inviting me, and I want to thank all the dignitaries that's here, to also the mayor and his wife, and also to God.
Yes.
So often people ask me, how do I do what I do? And I'm not ashamed to say it. I put my hand in God's hand. And that's just the truth. You know, when I was praying this morning, because I do have a prayer life, and I'm not ashamed of that, because I think these are the days that we need to really be praying. And so when I was praying, and I asked the Spirit of God, what should I say to the women? Because I know y'all got a lot of heavy hitters here, and I know everybody's going to cover a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Based on their experience and things like that. And the Spirit of the Lord began to speak to me. And he said, talk about the environment, Joyce. Wow. The law of the environment. Your environment will change you before you change it. In order for us to be all that we can be, it has to do everything with our environment. And our environment stems from ARP. Say ARP. ARP. The A stands for our atmosphere. And you know what your atmosphere is? The words that come out of your mouth. The words that come out of your mouth. You have to be careful with what you say. The Bible teaches us death and life is in the power of our tongue. Based on what we say, that's what we get. So you have the right to create your own atmosphere. You don't need nobody else to affirm you. You don't need nobody else to pat you on the back, because God has given you the power to create your own environment. So it's important what you say. So realize this, ladies, you have to put sticky pads all on your refrigerator. Put sticky pads all on your mirror and start affirming yourself daily. Say, I can do whatever God says I can do. I can be whatever God says I can be. I am a believer. I'm not a doubter. I walk by faith and not by sight. Your atmosphere is so important. The second thing, the R stands for our relationships. I know this is a good one. Because God knows who we connect with has an influence on us. For the good or for the bad. Because we're creatures of habit. Our relationships are so important. And for so many of us, we hate change. In order for you to get to your next level, hear me well, you got to cut the sucker loose. No. You got to cut him loose. No. You got to cut him loose. I know you're having a hard time now. I know I feel the pull, and you know he's so wonderful, and certain things he do you feel like you can't live without. But I'm telling you today, you got to cut him loose, because you know what? The relationship ain't going nowhere. The relationship is not going nowhere. Relationships are so important. If people cannot inspire you to get to the place that you need to get to, you really need to let them go. Change is not always easy, but it's necessary for growth and development. Hear me well. It's necessary for growth and development. All right? So you have to watch your relationships that you're with. Next thing, the P stands for places you go. You can't go every place. No. You really can't go every place. Because when you go certain places and you don't have strength enough, it influences you. That's right. It influences you. So you cannot go every place. So in order to create the environment that you need to create to get you to the next level so you can do it, you have to be careful of your atmosphere. All right? Be very careful of the relationships. Be very careful of the places you go. all that these sisters said, and I know they said some good stuff because I know the lineup, but there's something that you have to do. Those are serious things that you have to do. And our relationship with God is not like it used to be.
Come on now. Say so.
Come on. I hate to drop the ball.
Drop it.
The relationships are not like they used to be. That's why we can't get what we need to get. And here we are in a day and time where we got a government that's going to cut everything. And the people of God are in the corner afraid and scared. But if we have the relationship with God like we're supposed to, we will call heaven down. We will call heaven down and things will begin to move. Our relationship with God must be intact. He told me the relationships are not like they used to be. Some of you used to pray. Really pray. Get up early and pray. But now you allow this world to consume you with all that is going on, and you left your first love, which is the love of God. And because you left your first love, which is the love of God, you can't get to the place that you need to get to. You can't hear from the Spirit of God like you need to, so you're dependent on somebody else to deliver for you. No. We have to get to the place that we need to get to. We had lost our first love. We talk about God, but we don't serve God. We talk about God, but we really don't serve God. Because He tells us He will do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can ever ask or think. And some of us is not living in an abundant life because our relationships with God is not like it used to be. And God don't tolerate sin. He won't tolerate sin. I don't care how you claim it. I don't care how you say it. The God that I serve, praise God, hallelujah. He's a sinless God. He don't tolerate sin. We make excuses. We're living in a time that our relationships must be with God like it's supposed to be. Hear me well. It's the environment that we have created. The church is not as powerful as it once was because our relationships with God is not the same. God won't tolerate sin. He will not do it. I don't care who say it, who get up here and say, read your Bible. Read your book. All right? He won't do it. So this is Women's History Month, and I've been so many places. And I'm saying, Lord, after a while, we keep telling them, but they're not doing. I cannot affirm you. You need to be affirmed by God, to be perfectly honest. Just like the sister said, when she was going through her thing, it was God that was speaking to her, getting her through it, telling her what to do. If she did not listen, she would still be back instead of being forward. Our relationship with God is not like it used to be. Like I said, He told me to tell y'all that. He know I'm the bold one. I would say it. I'm not looking for no brownie points because my life is really governed by God. For God I live and for God I die. I don't care what no one say, how I am where I am, because it was God. He took a nobody and He made us somebody. When they say nothing good will come out of the hood, I am a living witness. I came out of the hood, praise God. Here I am, the first African-American black president of the city of Jersey City. Don't tell me God ain't good. And now I'm running for mayor. Don't tell me God ain't good. He will do exceedingly abundantly above all He can ever ask or think. I'm walking in the blessings of God. Oh yes, I am very much bold because I know the God who I serve. And so ladies, if you really want more of God, get connected to Him. You lost your first love. You really did. There was a time when we come together, we would feel the presence of God. They would wonder what was it about us, especially our culture. Because we were spiritual people. We understood God. We knew God. We know how to send up prayer and things would happen. We done came too close to this world because we wanted to be accepted. But I made up my mind. I'd rather have God than anything else. I don't care. I would rather have God than anything else. So during this Women's History Month, change your environment. Words come out of your mouth. The people you hanging with, He's not pleased with. You hear me? And the places you going. Stop backing it up in the corner. Somebody's backing it up. Somebody's backing it up. Stop it. Stop backing it up. Stop backing it up. Yeah, I know. The Holy Ghost is on call. I don't leave home without it. That's all right. That's my life. Yes. So ladies, I just dropped by to tell somebody that everything will be all right. Weeping may endure for a night. But because we have the guarantee of God, our joy will definitely come in the morning. God bless you.
I don't know why we invite that pastor in. I don't know why we invite that pastor in. You know she was going to slap us. Well, what God said to do. Listen, first off, I want to call up because I'm not going to even, this young lady, I'm just so, Charlene, where you at? Get ready, come on. The thing I like about her, she doesn't even know, so somebody referred her to me, but I've seen her in action. You ever go to a meeting and somebody else is the boss, but then you get to the meeting and somebody else is running the show? I said, well, who is that? This lady runs things when we are on those CDBG calls. She knows her work, but she's also an elected official. She is the Board of Education Commissioner in Elizabeth. She is amazing. She's a firecracker. She gets things done. And without further ado, Charlene Bachelors. Let's give her a round of applause. Natasha, get ready.
And she's my boss.
Look, as Councilwoman Sousa said, and you're her boss.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I know, we all ready to go, but I'm gonna be real quick. I'm going right through my speech, like you said. We're gonna read it and go, okay? But thank you for allowing me to speak. I also want to thank Sora Naima for recommending me to speak today. I wanted to share a journey when Councilwoman Wilkerson called and said, I want to speak, and she gave me the theme. I was like, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, I could talk about being an elected official, but there was so much going on in my personal life last year, and I wanted to share that journey. And I feel like sharing that journey will be my freedom today. So if y'all with me, we're going to do it together, all right? So I talked about me being a young black elected official in leadership. I was thinking, do I talk about the biases, the lack of respect that I've gotten as being an elected official, or the constant need for me to prove myself over and over and over again? And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna go a little deeper. I'm gonna just talk about something that I haven't talked to many people about. And I wanted to be real, I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to stand in my truth this morning, or today, or this afternoon. So are you guys ready for me to be vulnerable? Yes. All right, so at this moment, I just hope that you don't judge me, and that my story will uplift someone in this room, so that they can know that even though they're fighting in silence, that they can overcome whatever they're battling. So how many of us are struggling right now? Okay. How many of us are struggled before, if you ain't struggling right now? Okay. I struggled to get here trying to put some clothes on. I was like, Lord, so you see me here? Okay. But 2024 was my year of struggle. In January 2024, I became the president of the Board of Education. I managed a $650 million budget. I oversee 5,000 employees. I was hiring and firing, I was leading 2 public board meetings a month. I was working full time. I was taking classes to improve some areas in my life. And I went to schools. I visited everyone. I was working. I was someone's mother. I'm not mother yet. I was someone's daughter. I was someone's sister. I was someone's friend. I was someone's family member. And all throughout that, I met with administrators. I met with staff. And I saw them. I listened to their dreams. I listened to their struggles and their victories. And while I was leading in public, I was battling in private. And as I carried the weight of my position, I was also preparing for something just as crucial. I ran for re-election last year. So in between that, I've been on the Board of Education for 12 years. And it was my 5th election victory. I won, I fought for my seat, and I fought because I stood my ground. So over a decade, I've been on the Board of Education as the first elected official of Haitian descent in Elizabeth. And thank you. But I wasn't just sitting there as a seat filler. It was me. It was proof that representation and resilience go hand in hand. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. While I was winning in public, I was also losing myself in private. So behind closed doors, I was facing the most difficult battle of my life. And I was in a relationship, not just a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, I was in a marriage. And let's just be a marriage that lacked respect, lacked love, and constantly devalued me. If I cry, just let me keep going. And this is my first time talking about this in public. So, at home, I endured verbal, emotional, and mental abuse, and yet I showed up for everyone else. I smiled in public, I cried in private, and I kind of became an expert at fake smiles, and maybe too good at fake smiles. I would leave my home in tears, I would gather myself in the car, and I would walk into the board meetings at work as if nothing happened. And then one day, my ex-husband suggested something that I completely was against. And at that very moment, something snapped inside of me. And I realized that I had to stand my ground, and I had to fight for myself, and I had to choose me. If you ask me how I survived 2024, I would tell you that God brought me through it. It was 3 months before that defining moment that I had changed my computer password back in December of 2023. And I said, I will trust God. That was the password that I had to keep typing in every time I got to my computer. Wow. I didn't know why I chose that phrase, but it just came to me, and I was like, why am I using that as my password? I couldn't understand it. But every time I got to my computer at work, every time I got to my computer at home, I had to type, I will trust God. That password became my daily reminder, my daily prayer, and my daily declaration. And so I trusted God. I found the courage to file for divorce. I chose myself. I chose my happiness. I chose my mental and emotional well-being. I chose my life over an unhappy marriage. But let's be honest, my story is very personal, but it's not unique. As women, especially Black women, we all have to fight to be seen, to be heard, and to be respected. Take our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. I love her. I really do. She once said, your story is what you have, what you will always have, and it is something to own. And everyone questioned her intelligence. They mocked her confidence, but she stood her ground. Thank you. She stood her ground. She didn't let anyone define her. She redefined her role as First Lady. She wasn't just in the White House. She made her mark on history. And that's what standing your ground looks like. Owning your story, refusing to shrink, taking up the space unapologetically. So today, that's what I'm telling every woman in this room. Own your story. Stand your ground. Don't let anyone or anything define you. Last year tested me. I was the president. I was full-time job. I'm taking classes. I'm a sister. I'm a mother. I'm doing all this. I own a house. I'm over here and then going through a divorce. No one knew what was going on. But that year, I grew. That year, I learned my worth. That year, I stopped worrying about what others thought of a divorced woman. That year, I finally put Charlene first. I took everything in with me to share. It took everything for me to share this today. And I just want to thank, Naima for encouraging me to share this. And everyone, whoever's been through a divorce, it's not easy. But my prayer is that at least one woman in this room will hear my story and realize that you too can stand your ground. That you too can fight for your freedom and your happiness and your future. I started 2024 in tears, but I ended it in joy. I want you to trust God. It will happen. Stand your ground and fight for it. And thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Another round of applause. Come on. Wow. Somebody, Pat, you passed her a tissue. I was so into the story, I didn't even think to come to her aid. Charlene. Thank you. You're more of a powerhouse than I could have even imagined. I was impressed when I saw you in meetings. Your spirit, your fight, and your ability to put you first, that's a dig out job that you have to do. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing. Women are going to be blessed because you share. I will trust God. He already knew that you were going to go through this, and now women are going to be so inspired by your speech today. I am floored. I love you. We are here as a sisterhood for you, and guess what? You will keep leading women out of the mess. I love you. Wow. Jesus, I was trying to hurry up through this thing, and sometimes you gotta stop for the real thing. How many of you felt that story? It may not be a divorce, but the disappointment was so deep. Jesus. All right, now this next young lady, I am so amazed by her. She breaks barriers. They have it called the block is hot. The Block Society. Black ladies of construction, an industry where women are not often present. And not only are they doing work, taking these houses, flipping them, building them, they're investors. And they're teaching other women how to get in the industry, how to invest, and they are transforming lives. And I went to one of her conferences. I've never been to a conference where people was picking up checks. She has a cohort of women who invested in her last project, and these women were picking up $18,000 checks were the return on their investment. Give that a round of applause, because until we change our financial situation, sometimes we're unable to move forward. And so you are changing lives, and I do want to say, for Roselle, all of you watching, listen. The Block Society is teaching construction classes and getting into this movement of investment at the Roselle Memorial Library this year. You guys got to watch out for the announcement and register for these classes. It is going to be amazing. So without further ado, Natasha Davis, the CEO, the founder of the Block Society. The block is hot.
The block is hot. Right. So thank you so much for inviting me here today. We had a ribbon cutting last month, and Councilwoman Wilkerson and Mayor Shaw showed up for us. They were in a room making an announcement that my mayor didn't even know, right? So this is what it looks like for people to show up for you, even when you're not from their town, right? And this room is sisterhood. Yeah. And it's sisterhood because of you. Yeah. When I met you, not even a long time ago, you welcomed me with open arms. You said, whatever you need, I got you. And I cannot say that I appreciate you more for that opportunity, but even the opportunity for being here today. And there's not a lot of people who could do this. To pull so many different people from so many different towns, backgrounds, industries, and get them in one room. So kudos to you. Can we please give her a round of applause? So I'm gonna be quick. I wanted to talk today about sisterhood, right? Because I was raised in a single family home. I am the only child. My dad passed away when I was 10. He died at 29 from AIDS due to heroin needle sharing. Right, so I never even got I have outlived my dad because of the choices that he made. However, I still moved on. I was a first generation college grad. I was a first generation homeowner, first generation business owner, and I changed the cycle for my family.
Yes.
My family had directives to go to school, get a diploma, not go to college, and get a job and stay there forever. I knew that was not what I wanted to do. Yeah. My first job out of school, I worked for the Division of Motor Vehicle. They felt like I was going to retire from there because everyone retired from there. I went on to become a nurse. This May I will be a nurse for 21 years. I don't look like it, right? However, I don't stand before you as a nurse. I stand before you as a black woman in construction. Right? And we all know that is a male-dominated industry. When I walk in those rooms, no one looks like me. No one. And I'm not welcome. I get the cold shoulder. I get the feeling that you do not belong here. Why are you here? And I'm constantly challenged. It has put imposter syndrome in me. It has made me shrink in rooms where I knew I should have been. I knew I belonged in those rooms, but I sat quietly because I felt like, do I really belong here? They made me question myself. Regardless of how much work I did, how many hours I had put in, how many sacrifices I had made to be there, imposter syndrome still challenges us day to day. However, sisterhood, finding your tribe, finding those sisters that's going to pick you up, finding those sisters that's going to hold you accountable, and finding those sisters that's going to tell you you're dope. You're dope. You are a black woman in construction. You are dope. And those are the ones that get me through. Those are the ones that make me mentor now, right? Because I want to make sure that if I made it through the room, I'm going to reach back and bring someone with me. I want little girls to know that if you want to be in construction, you can be in construction. If you want to be a nurse, you can do that too. Every opportunity that is out there that you see a male dominating that space, we can do it too. Amen. But I have a few takeaways that I want to talk about today with sisterhood. One thing, it's going to be short, I promise.
No, go for it.
The cell phone, right, is locked. First thing is, I want women to start welcoming other women.
Yes.
If I'm already fighting in a male-dominated industry, I don't want to fight my sisters too. That mean girl energy, it has to go. It has to go. I am a girl's girl through and through. I've never been a gatekeeper. Everything I do, I bring my girls with me. We come in, when we go to events, they call us the Wu-Tang of real estate. They do. Because we come in deep, we come in strong. Because if I made it in the room, I'm bringing everybody I know with me that want to be there. But sisters, I need us to start speaking other women's names in those rooms. As I said, when I get there, I'm going to bring you with me, but I need somebody to bring me too. Speak my name. Tell somebody you met Natasha, she in construction, and she ready to do your next job, right? Also, sisters, start fixing one another's crown without announcing that it's crooked. Sisterhood is reminding your sister of her power when the world tries to tell her and tell her she's not and try to make her forget. So my call to action today is build your circle and find your tribe. Find your accountability sisters, the ones who won't let you give up on yourself, the ones who push you when you doubt yourself. Be the woman who opens the doors for others. If you are the first in that space, make sure you are not the last. And reject the competition mindset. There is enough room for all of us. When one of us wins, we all win together.
Dropping them jewels like that. Come on. It's crazy. She just spoke the truth, ladies. And I love that. Fix a sister crown without announcing that it's crooked. Wow, that was good. I love you, Natasha. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. And what we want to say is, when we met and you came into the office with me and the mayor and you said, I want to help your town. You know how many people come and try to get something and want some money, want to try to get paid for something? You said, how can I help the residents of Roselle? I think I got a way. And we just love you for that. You are an honorary Rosellian, okay, no matter what you say. All right, this next lady, she is, she's a businesswoman. She's a powerhouse. She's got an accent that I just like dreamy about. But the thing I love about her the most is, so years ago, I did like 20-something years in corporate America, was the top African-American executive, traveled the world, did what everybody said you're supposed to do. But I always had that entrepreneur spirit from my mother. And so I joined this incubator in Jersey City to run my business out of. And I come upstairs to my first day, full day in my office, and this woman comes up with a British accent. And she's just like, hi, I'm Corinne. let me know if you need anything. This is where this is just so helpful. You know how many times you meet another woman and she's mean-facing you, mean-mugging you, looking at you, can't tell you where the bathroom is, everything else. This woman is the sweetest woman I know. I love you because you embraced me when I was new in a new space. It's always hard to be new in a new space. And you embraced me. You have supported me in the movement for women. You spoke at many conferences. I love you so much. And without further ado, Corinne Stacia, owner and founder of Absolute Events by Corinne. Listen to her for that accent,
She's trying to make me cry before I even come up here and say anything. So thank you, Denice. And also thank you so much for allowing me this time. By the way, so speaking is something that I am starting to do. And I talked to Denice and I said, I want to practice this thing. And she said, come on. You all know what she's like, come on. So I want to thank you. So today I'm just going to talk about intention and impact. So imagine this, you're working harder than ever, but you feel like you're running in place. You're on this hamster wheel. Sound familiar to anyone? That was me 7 years ago. Until I had one simple realization that changed everything. And I'm here to share that shift with you today. My journey started when I hit a wall after being a small business owner for 12 years in the meetings and events industry. Feeling stuck and overwhelmed, even though I felt I was doing everything right. What I discovered wasn't a new tactic or a tool, it was really just a new way of thinking. Truthfully, we all face moments when we're struggling, right? And progress feels totally impossible. And it's often not because we're doing things wrong or doing the wrong things, it's really because we're using the wrong frameworks or the wrong model. We're tackling problems head on instead of stepping back and seeing the big picture. Success is really not about doing more. It's really about aligning our actions with our purpose. Because truthfully, when you understand your why you're doing something, and you stop chasing every opportunity, and instead start creating real impact. So I'm going to give you my example of that. I was working 70 hours a week or more. And because of that, I wasn't really present in my own life. I like to call myself a recovering workaholic. But once I focused on my why, I was able to cut my workload by 30% and double my output, really, within 6 months. It's not magic, it really is alignment. So, my challenge for you is, what one action will you take today to align your efforts with what really truly matters to you? It might be that you say no to something that does not serve your goal, or reach out to someone, one of your sisters, who can help you see the big picture. Take that step, because when actions match purpose, success is not only possible, it is inevitable. So, as I wrap up, because I want to make sure I'm in 3 minutes here, just remember that struggle is indeed part of the journey, but it doesn't have to define it. With the right shift, transformation into impact is definitely possible. I'm Korean and I love to keep this conversation going. One of the things I do is I help businesses double and triple their revenue while spending little to no additional money in marketing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Denice, I love you. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll wrap it up. I got one lady, she understands the assignment. Yes. The mayor of Hillside. The mayor of Hillside. Dahlia Virtue.
All right, so I'm gonna keep this really, really short and sweet. I always appreciate showing up for you and Roselle. Thank you, Mayor, First Lady, for having us, and of course, the wonderful councilwomen who have these dynamic speakers here for you. And I thank all of you who've been patient enough to listen to everyone's story, because all of us have something to learn in everybody's story. Nobody's a throwaway, right? Nobody's a throwaway. Even toxic people produce some good things. All right? So one of the things, and I'll sum up today's lessons from everyone, is failure is a part of success. And we are often taught to be afraid of failure. You only fail when you quit. That's the only time you fail. And perfection, especially for women, is abuse. And it's something that I had to learn growing up as the child of 2 first responders. There was no, I was getting bullied at school, right? They were just like, what do you mean? Like, oh, look, I got an A. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. And so over time, as a child, you got to learn that there was nothing you could do that was going to please anyone. Because if you can't please your mama and daddy, then you could do your best and it still was never going to be good enough. Not necessarily for them, but even for me. And so I'm going to share with you, Charlene is my soror. And we didn't always like each other, did we, Charlene? We always had like this prickly energy towards each other. But this is how good God is. We went to Boulay this past summer, and we were trapped in this house. It had some problems, and we fell in love with each other. Yeah. We shared that Capricorn energy, and I know I started to understand why she got on my nerves. Because I could see myself in her, and some of those things got on my nerves. And so when we talk about sisterhood, right, being a sister means being able to apologize for not being a better sister to you. Not having that opportunity to know you earlier. And I'll tell you, she got me to the airport because we was partying and I was late. She got me to the airport and she was like, no, you can make your flight. You could do it. Take this huge bag and you gonna run 5 miles. And I did it. And I kept Charlene in my head the whole time. Like, she said I could do it. When I got to the airplane, I was drenched water and I screamed out to the people, thank God, I made it. I may be black. I may be ugly. It's a true story. The whole plane was laughing. I sent her a snapshot of my face, sweating and everything, and I was like, yo, thank you, sis. So we talk about 2 people who didn't always start off on this great foot, but we found that sisterhood. So my speech today was going to be about being response able, right? We're going to come across a lot of obstacles, and I'm going to tell you, in every cornerstone of humanity, there's always been a monster. Every time we've made strides as human beings, there's always been a monster. Don't fear. Women are response able. Not responsibility, not the trajectories that other people put on you. We are response able. Recently, at my job, they told me I was going to have all these Spanish-speaking sites. And I'm listening to Jessica's story. And I remember saying, like, I could whine about having to speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I grew up in East Orange, you know, maybe Creole, French, but not Spanish. And, but in the back of my mind, I was like, my ancestors would be ashamed of me. Because that's somebody's real struggle. They gotta come here, sit in a class, and you don't speak a lick of English and you're 7 years old. That is frightening. So who am I to complain at 48, thank God, that I gotta now learn Spanish. Then I'm listening to my sisters over here, Local 24 Plumbers. I'm one of their greatest supporters. And we need to appreciate your story more than what they know. Because a lot of people do not know how discriminatory the building trades is. They are civil rights movement in like the 80s. Like that's where our diversity, equity, and inclusion is in that field. You have the AFL, your building trades, and the CIO, which is your professionals. Those are your office workers, clerical people. That's where you'll find the people of color, right? That's where you'll find your DEI. But on the AFL side, it's very sparse. So when she says that she's the first black woman to have this certification, she has somebody going through her apprenticeship program, a lot of times there aren't even any women in there. The problem is today is that now we have a lot of the white guys retiring. They made a lot of money. Their kids went to Dartmouth. They're lawyers, hedge fund managers. They're not plumbers. They're not carpenters. They are wealthy. So now, guess what happened? Your pool done ran out. You need people to fill them pensions, all them coffers, your annuities, all of those benefits. And so now they are reaching out to diverse communities to get them into these apprenticeship programs. And it is a great opportunity. But don't let people say either or. You're going to go into the trades or college. College will always be there for you. It's a business. But if you can pay for college out of pocket and keep yourself out of debt, entertain the building trades. So I'm going to end there, but I think I did a good job somewhere. Little Bailey and my soror Naima Ricks back there. Thank you so much. And that's it about this right. So, I'm sorry, I always have to do that shout out. But I love you and happy Women's History Month. And thank you for being with. I didn't go too long, did I?
You did, very good.
I wrapped it up.
Yes, you always good.
She's always dropping knowledge and keeping us aware, too. So thank you so much, Mayor.
Hey, guys. We have a quick presentation, right, Georgette? Before you close out real quick, okay?
I need my ladies with me.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. You have anything to say? You gonna drop flyers?
I love you. That's it.
Thank you so much to all my team and everybody that volunteered. I would like my councilwomen to come up and we're gonna close this thing out. Council ladies, come on. You can't do it alone.
That's so sweet.
Listen, we're gonna close out strong. You guys in this room are the warriors. We are 25 hours strong. So listen, we're gonna close out strong, right? Look at my sister-in-law, Rena. Repeat after me. It will happen. It will happen. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. And fight for it. And fight for it. It will happen. It will happen. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. And fight for it. And fight for it. Now hold up. We had some things happen in this room. Some people connected with people that's going to change their lives. Some people started careers that they didn't even know they were being ushered into. That's right. So repeat after me. It did happen. It did happen. Because we stood our ground. Because we stood our ground. And we fought for it. And we fought for it. Yes, ladies, I love you all day, every day. It's not just March. This is our
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Sousa from the First Ward here in Roselle at the Agape House. We had a great event today, the Women's History Month event, annual, led by Councilwoman Denice Wilkerson. We heard from such amazing women, the stories. Every year we get inspired by each and every single one of them. We are so blessed to have this event. We had food, we had conversation, and we plan on having this year after year in honor of women. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Councilwoman at Large Denice Wilkerson. What an amazing, amazing, amazing event we had. The theme of this year's Women's History Month celebration was, "It will happen. Stand your ground and fight for it." Women, everything that our heart desires, every goal, every mission, everything that we really wish we could see in our lives will happen. God says, "I know the plans that I have for you. Trust me, it will happen." But you gotta stand your ground, you gotta fight for it, and it will happen. Amazing, amazing. Councilwoman Sousa, amazing. Councilwoman McCamery, amazing. Thank you for being my co-chairs for this event. It was fire. Now, it's over, everybody's going home, they're wrapping up, but there was one woman here that is Roselle's own. And she has an amazing, amazing story. And her book is so on fire. And I just want to introduce her, Elise Antone. You know her. You're going to know. Come on, come on, come on. And her book is Many Shades of a Confident Leader. You are on fire. So tell us a little bit. Go ahead.
Many Shades of a Confident Leader represents all the trials and trauma that I went through. And I thought that I wasn't good enough because of the things that I went through. But when God calls you, that doesn't mean that it. So I want to encourage all my readers, this is a book and a journal where you can write in it, think about your healing journey and to use the gifts that God has given you. What do you want to do to be the confident leader? I'm waiting for you, I believe in you, and I'm ready for you to show up. Thank you for your support and love.
Hey, this is Mayor Shaw. Hey, we did it again. Once again, our annual Women's Day event, hosted by none other than our Councilwoman at Large, Denice Wilkerson, and along with Councilwoman Isabel Sousa and Rosie McCamery. You guys did a phenomenal job, and I want to be the first to tell you, you packed the room, you packed the room, you packed the room once again. It was an amazing, amazing day. Yo, Roselle, we are on fire, 130 years strong, and we're not gonna stop. We can't stop, all right? Let's go, stay tuned in. We are 10 toes down, on the ground, and we are moving this borough forward. This is an amazing event. I cannot wait till next year. God bless you guys. An amazing event once again. Thank you guys.